Still working on getting stuff set up properly.
I know my brother's always working to improve his podcast stuff.
Does he podcast?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to talk to you about your brother, because isn't your brother in some way?
He's just in civics engagement.
Well, that just means he has to change the way.
Yes.
If you ain't on mute it off. Yeah. Starting the live stream without actually doing anything.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Well, hello, Valerie Moore.
Hello.
You're on camera in your robe. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my wife in the background in her lovely pink robe. Yay, water! I keep trying to get her to do a podcast.
First podcast ever.
Well, this is my first podcast ever, really. Well, 7th now.
Okay. Well, okay. So I was on an episode of my brother's when he did his like big 250th episode party. It was over at Factory Obscura.
Oh,
and
that's
I would just be there bartending because I have the liquor license. But nobody would volunteer for the little game, the trivia game they wanted to play, and I was at the back, like, okay,
I'll do it.
So he called me up there. I wasn't expecting him to. I was just trying to get people to raise their hands.
Yeah. My sister will join us.
Yes.
What's your brother?
Andy.
Andy Moore.
Andy Moore. He's Oklahoma famous.
What do you mean?
Like everywhere he goes, he knows somebody. I feel like
me and her run into that, especially since
restaurant industry.
Yeah,
that's a huge part of it.
Like Northwest Expressway,
mm-hmm.
I can't go anywhere without. We can't go anywhere without running into at least one person. Every year when the state fair's in town, I'm like, who are we gonna run into this year?
No, it's always the most wild people.
Yeah, it's always a random. It's nice. Don't get me wrong, because these are people you don't see very often, other than on social media.
Yes, and it depends on who you keep up with on social media too. If you have anything to talk about when you run into them.
Sure. I mean, that's why I only have Instagram, just because I like the pictures.
I know, it's the pictures without all the talk. It's much easier.
Well, that's one of the reasons I got rid of Facebook.
Yeah.
Was it literally would change my mood.
Yes.
It would literally change my mood, reading other people's posts about whatever they're ranting about.
Yes. And you have to work so hard to filter through all the bullshit just to get to anything you actually care about, like people you care about documenting their lives. Like, who knows how much shit people have to scroll through to get to any of the pictures of my kids.
Yeah.
And I just put them out there for my family that doesn't live here. Like, that's the main thing I use Facebook for.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And then they threw the advertisement stuff in there.
Yes.
So now, like, every 4th or 5th post is an advertisement.
Yep.
And most of the time, it's an advertisement for something that you want.
Yeah,
because your phone listens to you.
Yes, because it's something you've talked about in the last 24 hours.
It's so ridiculous. I get on my Instagram, because I talk about running time.
Yeah.
On my Instagram feed, I get running shoes, different running events that you can sign up for, and they just pop up randomly. You know,
my brother's watching.
Well, I'm actually in a competition right now, a men's health and fitness magazine. I don't know if you saw the post.
Yes.
Well, I've made it to the 2nd round of it. Well, it became a competition. It doesn't really seem like a competition to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you voted on the 1st round or not, but if you go and vote for it, you're allowed 1 free vote, but then you can buy votes.
Okay.
And to me, that's cheating, because all you got to do is give each one of your friends $10 and go buy 10. It just seems like it doesn't seem like a real competition.
I feel like every competition is rigged like that somehow.
Yeah.
But it's a personal competition then, right? It's just
I mean, it is now. The whole reason I entered it, because it's basically what it is Men's Health and Fitness magazine is looking for someone to do a couple-page article on an average everyday person who lives a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And the reason I entered it was just to show people, because 37 is when I started doing things, living in a better lifestyle.
Yeah.
Lifestyle
is a relative term.
Yes.
Because I have very unhealthy eating habits,
yes.
But I changed my lifestyle in other ways.
Yes. But mine is very health oriented now, and entered it to show people that it's never too late to change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the message that got across.
That was the message
Yes.
that I wanted to. But I'm number 13th right now.
That's awesome.
You can go
Good
to
for
Men's
you.
Health and Fitness something.
I need to go on there and vote.
I'll put a link on this
Okay.
podcast. And are you friends with my wife on Facebook?
So yeah.
Yeah, you can go to her things. She's got a link.
Okay.
We'll do it. We'll get one vote out of you before you leave here today.
Okay. I'm down.
Maybe I'll go from 13 to 12.
Ooh.
Well, I guess this next round is, I think, the top 15
Okay.
because they've picked the top 20 out of however many were on there,
Yeah.
and I was in that top 20, so now I'm in the second round.
Sweet.
But it's kind of, it'd be cool to win.
Yeah.
It's 20 grand, a little
Holy
expose
shit.
on you.
It's really
mean,
cool.
But the point of it was it came across in my Instagram feed because I talk about running all the time. So
Well,
this
that's how they got
advertisement,
you.
so this advertisement popped up
Oh.
and said, "Hey, you want to win 20 grand and be featured in Men's Health and Fitness magazine?" And it was just one of those things like, why not? What's the worst thing that can happen? I'm already here.
Tap on that.
Yeah, I'm already here.
Man. Well, cool. You never know what can happen.
I know. Let's talk about your barbecue.
Okay.
I
Always
really
talk
want to.
about the barbecue.
I really wanted to talk to you about this. So, one, what's the place called and where's it located? So, if people want to go try it.
Okay. It's Blacktop Barbecue. It's located at 20884 Southeast 29th Street in Hera, Oklahoma. It's just the side of the road food stand. You walk up, you order your food, you get your food in under 10 minutes. I mean, normally it's like 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you leave. Or you can sit outside on the stools and the spools. That we
Oh, you have like outdoor seating
We
kind
have like 3 umbrellas on some, like those huge cable spools,
Mhm.
the wooden ones. We have 3 of those out front where
Okay.
when we have some
Yeah.
stools that we got for people to sit at. So on nice days when it's not too windy for the umbrellas, we can put them up. One of them is currently tilted from the latest storm, but we smoke everything in-house. We make our own sausage, we grind it, we stuff it, we smoke it. It's delicious. And we use minimal ingredients. I mean, salt and pepper on brisket is all
Yeah.
you need. Just low and slow, hot and heavy.
I'm curious to come out and try it.
Yes,
I like
I'm
I was texting you. I
I'm
was like,
so
man,
glad
we'll
we're
go after the
closed.
podcast today. And you're like, no, we're closed today.
I know. I should have at least brought some kind of a sample, but we're doing all of our cooking and baking and stuff. Like we make everything fresh every day.
Mhm.
So all my cinnamon rolls will be baked in the morning.
Oh, you have cinnamon rolls?
Yeah, so cinnamon rolls are like the big fair ones.
Yes.
And they have like a hint of orange in them, but they're huge. And they come with icing if you want it. You don't have to, but the icing's homemade. The bread
Icing's gotta
is
be on it,
the
so-
bread's hand rolled, like just good old fashioned yeast bun.
Yeah.
And
And then you have everything from what?
We've got-
Sliced pork to pulled pork.
we don't
ribs.
have sliced pork. We've got pork ribs, we've got pulled pork, brisket, and we have 2 styles of ribs. We've got dry rub on both of them. One of them's our traditional. It's got the brown sugar and the garlic, paprika, salt, pepper, all that. And then our Caribbean jerk just has Caribbean jerk seasoning on it, which is, have you ever had like Caribbean jerk chicken?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's that seasoning on the ribs, and it just does something to the pork. I don't know. It's delicious.
Try it.
They're really good.
When I come out, I want a little sample plate.
We can make that happen.
I love
My 11-year-old daughter, it will sell you on the brisket because that's her favorite. She loves it on a brisket sandwich, on a brisket spud. It doesn't matter. Like we have a mammoth potato.
Uh-huh.
It's got cheese, butter, your choice of meat, and then our special creamy barbecue sauce, which is our potato salad aioli mixed with our homemade sauce. Make our own sauce.
I love a good aioli.
Yeah. So
Did you pick all this up from the restaurants that you've worked in over the years and the
I mean, I
the
guess
chefing that
so.
you did?
I don't know if you would call it chefing. I was just a line cook for many, many, many years.
Yeah, but you worked under a chef. You
But
learned
yeah.
a few things.
Yes, I learned a lot from the bosses that I've had, which happened to be brothers,
Yeah.
the Schreier brothers. They're amazing. But I worked with them, and I now work with one of them at the barbecue. He
Oh.
lives in War Acres here. And
Uh-huh.
we convinced him to come out there and work at the barbecue. So it's worth it for him to drive 40 minutes every day back and forth.
Nice.
Like one way, 40 minutes.
And do you guys you think you told me before that you only make so much for the day and when you're out,
Yep.
that's when you
We
close.
sell out, we sell
Right.
out. So if we have like a huge group of people come through and ordering 12 racks of ribs, like we not might have any
Yeah.
by dinner time.
Yeah.
But we're 4 people. There's only 4 of us, and we're all grown ups, and we all have kids. So it's just my partner and I, Casey, and then Adam and a girl named Amber.
And you're normally open Wednesday through
Wednesday through Saturday from just 11 until we sell out.
11 till
So we
sell
do
out.
post on Facebook. That's the most social media stuff and I don't even do it. It's not me. My partner Casey does all the social media stuff.
Yeah.
So he has to filter through the comments and the messages, which I'm not envious.
No, I don't look at
Yeah,
comments or
but it's a
anything.
lot of long hours. I mean, we have to.
What time do you get up?
Wood. It depends on what we're cooking. Might be 3:30. It might be 5:30. The kids' bus comes at 6:30, so we are always up by 5:45, no matter what.
Mhm.
But today is the last day of school,
That's
so
nice.
that's nice. But the bus picks them up right in front of the barbecue.
That's nice.
Yeah, we know the bus driver, Robert.
I'm sure he comes when he drops them off. He's like, "Can I get a sandwich?"
Oh, I have it waiting when
Do you really?
Yes, I try to feed him like once a week. That's a wheel I will gladly grease
Yeah,
out there
no,
in the
for sure.
country.
For sure. How do you like living in the country?
I like it. It's nice having space.
Yeah.
We used to have pigs.
How many acres you have?
We have 5.
5 acres.
I miss having the pigs that we had.
That's
but-
what we want. We want like 5
Oh, I'll
acres.
never get another dog again. I'll get pigs forever.
Oh,
I don't. Yeah.
No, I mean the 5 acres. Not
Oh.
big. Never had a pig.
Pigs are amazing, but yes, acreage is also amazing. Just fence it in really well if you want the pigs.
Yeah.
Which we do not have time to do.
Yeah.
So
Are they mischievous animals?
yes, they can be. And then when you have neighbors, that's one side is a tulip and sunflower farm, which pigs would love to eat that stuff. And then the other side is a softball park. So
The pictures from the tulip farm side are gorgeous.
yes,
Sometimes
it's breathtaking.
like at sunset, you'll be out there hanging out with your kids and you'll snap a picture and put it on Instagram. And it's beautiful.
Yes, it doesn't even do it justice on looking at it on your phone.
Pictures never do.
No, it's when you walk out your front door and you see like 50,000 tulip bulbs growing within eyesight. It's like, wow,
And
it's crazy.
And it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If she's bothering you, just push
No,
her
she's
off.
fine.
Mr. Whiskers does what she wants. She's an outdoor cat.
Oh, okay.
Indoor, outdoor. She goes out at night,
She's fine.
runs the streets, comes home at 8 o'clock in the morning for breakfast.
I like that. I like that strategy.
She's on time too. She gets treats from our neighbor next door.
Oh, smart kitty.
Our Betty, she's an older lady. I want to guess she's probably in her 80s.
Okay.
She said that Mr. Whiskers will climb up in her back window by her kitchen and just sit there and stare at her
That's hilarious.
until she gives her treats.
Well, I'll have to employ that the next time I need some treats. Just stare at somebody.
Well, if you got land, you should have a cat anyway, just to kill the.
Oh, we have some stray cats that hang around. We don't really welcome them that much.
They just kind of live on the land.
Yeah, well, we live across the street from a grocery store also, which is
Okay.
handy because it's like our pantry. We'll
Yeah.
walk across to buy.
What do you need? Okay. we'll go.
Yeah, I mean, we go over there at least 3 times a day between 2 of us. I've gone over there 5 times in one day. I think that was my most.
Well, I mean, it's handy. Like
Yeah,
you
when it's
said.
like sick kids, I had to run over there for more medicine, and I had to run over there for like other cleaning products.
But
and stuff.
regardless, I mean, you don't even need a walk-in cooler, really.
Dude, we need a lot of things we can't lose, which is why having the power out today sucks. But there was a little storm. So
Oklahoma.
yeah,
Good for that.
yeah. If you know any good generator salesmen, come our way.
I don't know any generator salesman.
Okay. I
I
don't
think
either.
you just go to a hardware store for that.
Yeah. They're really expensive. And we need a big one.
Yeah.
We're not
You're-
walk in.
You're talking
mean,
about multiple $1,000s.
If the power does go out and we have a ton of meat in the cooler, all we got to do is throw it on the smoker and it'll preserve it. We'll be good.
Yeah.
But we'll just have a bunch of cooked food and we'll have to have an extra big barbecue.
Yeah. Everybody come out today.
Yes.
We're feeding the entire town.
Yes. As opposed to just 10% of it, which is
Yeah.
what we usually do.
What made you decide to open up a barbecue place? Like what brought that
Well,
idea on?
So I didn't open it myself. I started there like 2 weeks after they opened. Funny story.
So wait a second. Somebody opened a barbecue joint on the
Yeah.
front of your land.
Well, it wasn't my land
Technically, okay,
at the time.
okay.
So let's flash back to December of 2020.
Okay.
My mother dies.
Goodness.
January of 2021, a month and a day later, her mother dies. And then 6 months after that, 7 months after that, my husband of 10 years leaves, just up and leaves on a Sunday before I start a new job that week. Before the kids, all four, are going to be in school for the first time
There was
ever.
no talk. He just left you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get into that later.
Yeah. Well, he's not worth getting into.
But it's
Uh,
how you dealt with it
yes.
is.
Yes. There's a lot of therapy.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that.
So then I had two jobs at the time. I was working for a catering company, and they also did the suites level catering for Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater. And so I would have to go up there for every home game and make like thousands of rolls and cinnamon rolls ahead of the games and ready to have them baking off that morning or that day. It was a lot of driving up and down the highway. It was a lot of working caterings here in town. And then I was doing everything for my kids, all four kids. I was living here in Bethany. And then I did a catering with the two guys who were my bosses, the Schreier brothers. I did a catering with them up at Grand Lake, and we had smoked meats on our catering menu. So he was working out at this barbecue that we knew about. His name was Matt. That's not really important. But he and his buddy, who I come to find out was the owner, Matt made it off like I've come to find out that his partner was the actual owner and did all of the work. But they smoked the meats for us for this cater. We went and did it on the way home. I was getting sleepy, so I stopped there to return some of their dishes, and I like took a nap. And just hung out there for a little bit. Like
Talked
it
with
was a
him.
fun place. And then once I figured out what was really going on, he offered me a job. His partner guy, Casey, was like, well, I need somebody to wash dishes out here. I'll pay you this much. And I was like, well, that's more than I'm making at my two other jobs. Okay. Like this would simplify my life in immense ways. I would just drive one way to work. I know it's worth 40 minutes time. That's a lot, but I was ready to
That's all
simplify.
highway for the most part.
Yes,
though.
it is. It's 80, especially when you go on
Yeah.
the turnpike. So it's
Yeah.
a fast 45 minutes with traffic. But he offered me the job. And so I took it. Pretty soon Matt left, and it was just Casey and I at the barbecue. And then, of course, I fell in love with him because he's like the love of my life. And I don't know what I did without him beforehand. He's that kind of person. He loves my kids. Like I knew I loved him when he was just holding a chicken and talking to one of my sons, doing something. I was like, oh my God. And I ran in the kitchen and there was this girl and I was like, Stendhal, I'm in love with Casey. And I just kept it cool for as long as I could. And then things progressed. The two of us have been working the barbecue and together ever since. And after that, I decided to stop commuting and move out there at the end of that school year for the end of school of 22. So we all moved. I moved my three kids, my three younger ones, and my 17-year-old stayed
And then
here.
now you and Casey on the barbecue spot.
Mhm. Yes. So like I've invested in it
Yeah.
more than just my time.
Yes.
But it is a lot of my time and effort that goes
Yes.
into it. So
That's cool though.
yeah. His name is on everything for right now. But I do all the behind the scenes work. I hope he listens to that part.
Yes, sucker.
We couldn't do it without each other. I know that.
Tell them relationships.
Yeah.
Like that.
I never thought I would not be sick of somebody. Like I get sick of people real quick.
Yeah.
So I never thought this day would come. But
That's good.
yeah.
I'm glad
It
you
hasn't
met
been
her.
easy.
Yeah.
It's hard
No-
work.
Nothing's fucking easy.
No, but it makes it more worth it, I guess.
Yeah. But when you put a bunch of hard work into something and you get a positive result from it, it's
Yes. It's a big reward.
absolutely, and especially in relationships.
And it's a reward that I've never had before. A satisfying relationship.
Let's go into that a little bit. What do you mean?
I mean,
Like what describe that what you
I've got
just
two
said?
failed marriages. One person I respect, one person I don't.
The
Out of the
fir-
ex-husbands.
first marriage was the father of Layla.
Yes,
Second marriage was,
he's the father of the other three, Penny,
Other-
Robert, and Archie.
and he's the one that just up and left. You
Yeah.
said
I mean, I probably wasn't the best wife, but I mean, we tried marriage counseling.
didn't help.
No, because I had settled to begin with. The irony is not lost on me that I stayed married to that moron for so long to appease my mother and make her happy. But in the end, it was her inheritance left to me that allowed me to have him leave and not let him come back.
Mhm.
That was the
Did
only
you try to
reason.
come back?
He did try the next day. He tried to come back and talk and like, let's work it out. And I was like, no.
No,
I
I'm
stood
good.
my ground. I said, no, this is bullshit. No, you cannot come back.
So what? That day that he left,
Mhm.
if you don't mind getting into it,
Yeah.
was it just a
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to go out for some milk and never came back kind of situation?
No, it was
Or
a Sunday.
was it a big fight? And he's like, I'm out of here. I'm done.
No, it was a Sunday. Um, it was after a catering that I had done with my friends Adam and Jason, and I was returning some of the catering dishes to Jason's house. And Jason is my old boss. Adam and Jason are brothers. Like we've known each other for a decade. Well, now it's like almost 2 decades, but
Mhm. Almost as long as we've known each other.
yeah, I know. It's crazy. I worked for Jason for 8 years at the Greens. He was the executive chef. And then I worked for Adam when he was the food and beverage director at Surrey Hills Golf Club.
Okay.
For almost 2 years. And then I quit working for a little while after my mom died. And I took a break after Surrey Hills and in between that and the other catering company. Just lots of cooking. I've just done lots of cooking forever. But I was returning the dishes to Jason's and I was like, hey, you want to go out to lunch? You want to go antiquing or something? Like, I've got some free time. Chris is at home with the kids. It's a Sunday. Like, I don't have to check with him. I'm
Yeah, you're
36 years old. I just said, hey, I'm going to go return this stuff to Jason. I'll be back later. Like, I didn't disappear out of the house on my side of it and not come back,
Yeah.
So I just didn't give him a play-by-play of my day, I guess, and that upset him. But Jason and I spent the day antiquing. We went to lunch, and then I came home. And it was like a total of maybe 6, 7 hours I was gone. I was home before bedtime, like the easiest 6 hours of the day he had.
Mhm.
And when I get home, he's standing there with a backpack. He's like, I'm just going to go. If you don't want me here, I'm just going to go. Okay. I'm not going to stop you.
Bye.
Yeah.
There's the
I was
door.
like, I'm going to go read books to the kids and put them to bed.
You're here when I get out. You're here.
Yeah, this. I'm not going to stop you, man. If you want to be here, you don't have to be here. And so he left, and then he made a big show of things, came back again, and the kids were all confused. And he's just very narcissistic, like the epitome of a narcissist.
Yeah.
All the check marks.
I never knew him. So I met him that one time I came to look at the gas line.
No, and I hated the way that he made me feel. I hated the person that he had like morphed me into just by proxy.
You talking about
Like just a negative person, just always negative,
verbal
always
abuse,
Yes.
abuse like that.
Yes,
Similar.
like manipulation.
Yeah. Oh, well, you wouldn't do
gaslighting.
this if you loved me,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Gaslighting, poor decision making, like never good with finances. Got us into trouble a couple of times. But when he left me that day, he was debt free. So that's pretty.
He was debt free.
Yeah, we were both debt free.
Oh, okay.
So it was
I was
his
gonna say-
choice to up and leave debt free
That
out of the marriage.
that always baffles me when I hear that from husbands or fathers that are just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm out here.
Yeah.
Like
He just took the
what
coward's way out.
what you have such responsibilities just in your children. I'm not saying you have to stay with your spouse. Like you can
You can
mutually separate
yes,
and
and figure
still
it out.
take care of the children.
Co-parent.
And it always baffles me when people just leave like that. Like, is he part of the children's lives now?
He is by court order.
So he what pays child support? Does he see them?
He
Is what
does see them and he does pay child support. He sees them every other weekend and every other Wednesday.
So basically, like 4 times a month.
Yes.
That's shitty parenting to me.
That's
That's
also
shitty
that's
father.
also all that I really wanted him to be allowed because of the negative influence that he has on them.
Well,
The traits and the
I-
behaviors that come home
I
with.
get that, but if he was in a more positive mind state, he would be a better father. And be
Yes.
a
If he was a
better
better
father than
father,
us.
I would have totally agreed to much more time.
Yeah.
I don't trust
I
it.
understand.
They
that.
just get the bare minimum parenting when they're with him.
I
And
understand.
it's not the correct bare minimum.
And most
my
likely he's
opinion.
probably on his phone with them.
He's just always asleep. Every picture I deleted off of my Instagram whenever we split up was him asleep with a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, every single picture. Yeah.
Sucks.
Like, what kind of a parenthood is that? I did everything. So now I get to do everything and I get all the credit for myself. He was the kid in the group project that showed everybody the A that we got when he did none of the work to make that A.
That's a good analogy, man.
Yeah, that's
I
like the
like that.
perfect description of him.
I like that.
So I'm going to do my work on my project, which is my children, and I'm going to get the best grade I can get, but I'm going to get it by myself.
Yeah.
Well, that was my mentality when he left.
Helicopter. You don't hear.
Oh, yes. I remember living next to that.
Yeah. Well, they literally fly right over our house to go to it.
Yes.
The planes luckily fly a little bit more west.
Yes.
Out of there, but the helicopters, they go right over. So how did you I know that you said that when he left that it was one of those things like there's the door, get the hell out, which is a philosophy that I think of when people want to leave my life. I'm like, bye,
Yeah, bye.
go. But it still leaves a scar and pain
Oh, yeah.
and everything. Like how
I had to
having
grieve.
4 kids, did you say you had a job at the time and
Yeah.
4 kids, and then you had to also grieve, not a loss, but
Yeah. I mean, I was still grieving the loss of my mother.
and
He
your
didn't,
mother.
and my grandmother, who, like, I was really close to my mother, pretty close to my grandmother. I never imagined in my wildest dreams I would be thrust into the matriarchal position of our family.
Yeah. How did you deal with that?
Not well for a while. I also got a DUI in the fall of 2020, right before my mother died,
Mhm.
which was probably my lowest point. I got it leaving Coco Walk.
Oh, the cock.
It wasn't Corey's fault. I will
The
say
cock
that for the
gets
record.
everybody.
Yeah.
Hi,
So
Corey.
it wasn't him.
You're still our favorite bartender.
So I had that was the last thing my mother remembered about me before, and my mom died of COVID.
That's
So it was all during the pandemic. This is happening,
yeah.
and I was living in fear, just the pandemic fear the whole time, especially watching my mother die in front of my eyes,
Mhm.
and then watching her mother die in front of my eyes. I'm like, I was
Did
there
your
for.
grandmother die of COVID as well?
She died of just congestive heart
Okay.
failure. She survived COVID, gave it to my mom. My mom died of it. My dad and my grandma got better. My dad had to take care of his mother-in-law for the last month and day of her life, which is bizarre. We were all living in bizarro land for like a year.
That whole year was weird for
Yes,
everybody.
it was
I'm
super.
sure more weird losing family
Yes,
members.
I mean the school sent the resource officer to my house because we weren't turning in the homework packets. And I was like, look, they are fed. They're playing Legos nicely together. I'm working full time. My mom just died. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tell them I'm sorry. I'm not going to do the packets.
They sent the resource because you didn't
Yeah.
fill out the homework in time,
Yes.
basically.
Yes, because we weren't doing the work that the school was sending home when we were doing the virtual schooling.
Oh, okay.
But no, am I supposed to virtually school my children when I have all this other shit going on? And I am crying myself to sleep when I get to sleep for 2 hours a night. It was not good times.
That's a lot on the shoulders,
Yeah.
though.
It was a lot. I mean, I was worried about my dad at the time, who had just lost his wife of 44 years. My brother just lost the same mom I did, but we also lost different moms, We had different moms, even though she was the same lady.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
just,
think that's all
and
siblings.
yes. And I was just trying to raise 4 kids. Like my first ex-husband, he's great. I could rely on him to help me with Layla when I couldn't be a mother.
Mhm.
You know, I could have that conversation with him. Like, hey man, I don't think she wants to live with me. If I move to Hera, I have to move out of here for my own mental health, which that's really when I just started to really become aware of how important my mental health was, because I had a really bad episode like a month after my grandma had passed. And that was like my first really depressive episode where I was like,
You mind if we get into that?
no, it's fine.
Go ahead, describe it.
My husband at the time immediately wanted to call the cops and have me admitted to some hospital. I called my best friend, Adam, and I was like, hey, I'm not doing very well. I'm really not doing very well. So he came to check on me. And then I think my best friend came to check on me, and she like sat with me and stayed with me for 2 days. Like,
Sutton.
yes, she wouldn't let me out of her sight.
Sutton's the first one who shaved my head.
Yes. She just came to visit.
Mhm.
I love her.
Side note, I remember that day her boob was in my face the whole time she was shaving it.
Yes,
Like,
that sounds
do you remember
exactly
talking
like
about
her.
that? Like literally, she was shaving my head and her titty was right here. And here, I'm getting the back. Sorry, that was the first time I shaved my head. Sutton
Oh,
shaved.
that's funny. I had forgotten about that. Yeah, so she did the correct things for my mental health, and I learned how was the correct response because of her. I listened to a podcast called In the Open. That really helped me. I mean, I was like on the verge of, like, I just wanted to disappear from the world. I didn't want to hurt myself. I didn't want to harm myself, but I didn't want to exist anymore. Like, how can I absolutely implode, like just spontaneously combust and not leave a mess?
Yeah,
Like, that's what I was trying to achieve in my head. Obviously, there's no way to get there, but that's how I felt, and I just needed to like cry out for help. So I did. Sutton helped me. I got help from my brother and my dad, the family members that I needed to lean on. My ex-husband was no help. He like ridiculed me most of the time.
second ex-husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, not my
Make
first
sure
one.
we're talking about the right person.
Yes. So I didn't have support there. And then finally, after he left, like I had been going to therapy every week, sometimes twice a week when it was really bad, just really working on myself, working on the person I wanted to be. And this is like hardcore work. I know it sounds kind of lame, but
No, it doesn't.
picking myself apart and dissecting why I am the way I am. And I've been doing that for the last 4 years now. So I've come a long way. And
That's
she's seen me go through a lot. We've had a few crisis calls. I just really needed help from her. And she did help me. I called the right person. But highly recommend finding the right therapist.
Oh, absolutely. No,
Oh, cannot recommend that highly enough.
when people go to therapy and they just go with whoever they come across, like no,
Oh,
it's an interview process.
yes. And I had to switch therapists
Yeah.
because while after my DUI, everybody demanded that I need to go counseling. I was like, okay, yes, I agree. I'm super depressed. I'm drinking because of the depression. Okay. So I went to one, and the narrative was mostly about the roles that had been pushed on me by my mom and grandma. And I was raised in the Nazarene church, so I had all of that built
You're
up.
talking about the motherly woman roles of
Yes,
the
just
relationship.
the super matriarchs. You were there to provide a home, blah, blah, blah. And my mom and grandma never really worked. I was the only one in the family who had ever worked as female. And they all kind of like, come on, Valerie, you're always working on the holidays, so we can't get together, blah, blah, blah. We can't have our buffet. Like, oh my gosh. So I was trying to overcome that whole stereotype that I had built up in my head of what I was supposed to be. And that was pretty much the narrative, like breaking cycles, breaking generational cycles. That was what I was going for in therapy at that time. I assumed that was what was making me unhappy. I didn't know how to be the person they wanted and how to be the person I was supposed to be, which I didn't know what I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom and grandma both died. So I was like, well, I have nothing to talk about with this therapist any longer. So I called her and I was like, I'm sorry. Everything has changed. I'm just not getting, and it was virtual.
Mhm.
So I was just not getting as much out of it as I needed.
I do not like virtual.
I couldn't do it. I
I'm-
tried so hard. I just could not do
Well, not to
it.
get off subject. We'll get back to it in a second. It's very popular right now that BetterHelp
Yes.
is very popular right now, and that's all like virtual.
Yes.
And I just don't think you get as much. Yes, you're still having face-to-face conversation, but it's not a personable face-to-face
Yes.
like this is with you and
Yes.
me.
It's
You know what I mean?
different. But I feel like this next generation is
Yeah.
responds to the virtual visits just as much as we respond to the personal visits.
I just think that, especially in an aspect of therapy, there's that energy that you get from somebody else.
The personal connection that you the
Yes.
trust and respect that you build up between you and your therapist is
Absolutely.
something that is harder to build up virtually.
That's what I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with
I
that.
think,
Yes.
I
But anyway,
I
back
agree.
on to you.
So-
So you called her and you're like, I don't have anything
Yeah,
to talk
I was
with
like,
you
I'm
about.
sorry. This is just not working for me. And she was respectful. She understood. She even helped give me some references of other therapists that she thought.
As she should.
Yes, I mean, she was not hurt feelings.
Her
which-
goal should be for you to get better, whether
Yes.
that's with her or somebody else.
Yes. And I was very appreciative of the way that she responded to me. She was very nice and helpful. So I found the therapist I have now. I love her. She has been wonderful and very helpful for me on my journey.
Yeah.
Good. She's seen me at my best and my worst.
So you're doing better than when
Yes.
you went and saw.
Yes.
'Cause
And
I'm-
I've had another few episodes since then. I just had one in February. I had a hysterectomy in February and having all those like hormonal changes and just being on the not correct medications.
No.
That will
Right
do something,
medications.
which I thought I was on the right ones. I thought I was doing good. But then after seeing a legit psychiatrist for the first time, she was like, oh, no, no.
No.
We're going to switch this up a bit. We've got room to work a lot here. And so she upped my dosage of my antidepressant and anxiety medication. She added in a couple more. And I have never been more like mentally balanced than I am right now. I don't think ever.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care if there's a stigma against, like taking your pills every day, but they make me be able to process and like deal with things that come up in my daily life that would otherwise send me into a panic attack.
Yeah.
If something like a flat tire happened and I like didn't have the tools with me or something, I
Yeah.
would just sit there and like cry hysterically
I
because
don't-
I didn't want to be a burden to someone else
Yeah.
and ask for help. But now I'm like, oh my God, somebody fucking help me. Hello. So it's
Andy,
it's just-
yeah, I need your help. I don't care what you're doing.
I don't know.
I have a
if
flat
would-
tire.
I don't know if I'll call Andy. I told
Change
him
the
if
topic.
I did text him when I found out that our city council is trying to change the times of our regular city council meetings to 10 a.m. when no citizens who work can attend. So I called Andy up about that and I was like, is this compliant with the Freedom of Meetings Act? I need to find out. And he said, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. Let me look into
Yes,
it.
he said, let me ping the FOI people, which is the Freedom of Information Oklahoma chapter, which he used to be the executive director of,
Ooh.
because he's like Mr. Civics engagement and he knows. He's friends with like Leslie Osborne, who's the labor commissioner.
Hang on, we'll get into him in a minute. Let's
Okay.
get back to
Okay.
the doing better now. So
yes.
pills have helped you,
Yes.
which I never have anything wrong with pills. What I have wrong with is doctors selling pills
Oh,
just
yeah.
to sell pills.
Yes.
That's what I have a problem with. I don't,
And that's what made me so scared to ask for help to begin with.
because you don't just want, oh, hey, there's this new pill out, blah, blah. Because
Yes.
how many times do you go to a doctor and be like, oh, there's this new pill out, blah, blah. And that's just because some sales rep came in and gave you this pill and says it works for this.
Yes.
Like,
When you saw a commercial for it on TV.
what are the studies behind whatever pill you're trying to get? That's where I have the
Yes,
problem.
I have always been very wary of medications. I mean, it was just a lot for me to take pain pills after surgeries. Like, I've seen too many people go down a bad road on opiates and painkillers, and I've
And
always
that
been a
was
little scared about that.
prescribed.
Yes, and even now, like it's gotten so much worse than when I was younger and I had a surgery.
Yeah.
Like this most recent surgery was a big deal, And I got over it very quickly, which I got over it physically quickly, but not mentally quickly. And I was so imbalanced up here.
Hmm.
It was just off. Everything was just off. I couldn't think in a correct way that was like normal processing. It was really tough.
Yeah. That's what doctors nowadays, they're drug dealers with degrees.
Yeah, some of them are.
Some of
Some
them.
of them know what they're doing. I'm lucky to have seen some that I do trust.
Most doctors you go to nowadays, especially in the city, if they're affiliated with any kind of big hospital,
Yeah.
it seems like, oh, hey, we're in here for 5 minutes. I told you my symptoms, and you're like, oh, well, I've got this drug.
Oh,
Take
good.
this.
That's not my experience, so I'm really glad.
No, I don't go to that doctor anymore.
That's good.
And even
I've seen doctors
well,
that did that.
even when I did go to that doctor, I went to him already knowing what I needed.
Yeah.
I went to him and was like, hey, this is what's wrong. This is what I need. I need you to prescribe me some of this.
Yeah.
Like, I already know what I need. I just need you to sign a little piece of paper so I can get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically what I paid for.
Mhm.
You know?
That's what I did with my medical card.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just a money grubbing business. Anyway.
Yes. Wish they
Like-
could put some of it back in the schools. That's all I wish. Just more of it back in the schools.
It was supposed to go
Yeah.
into the schools.
So was the lottery.
Oh God, don't get me started on that bullshit. Do you know that if you were to take $2 every time you buy a lottery ticket and stick it into a high dividend stock, that you would in 20 years make your millions that you would have won off the lottery?
Oh man.
Maybe
I'm
not.
glad I don't
Maybe
play
not
lottery.
$700 million,
Yeah.
but you would have a better chance of becoming rich off that money
Yes.
doing it that way than buying your lottery. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Such a scam.
I don't play the lottery. I just smoke
I don't
cigarettes.
They take enough of that taxes too. How much are cigarettes now?
Oh my God. They're like $10, $11 a pack.
Are they really?
I'm
When-
so embarrassed. I have the patch. I have the pills. I want to quit so bad.
Oh, you just got to do it, Val.
Oh no, I
You
know.
just
I
gotta
hate
stop buying
myself.
cigarettes. You just
I
gotta stop
know.
buying cigarettes. You just gotta do it. That's the only way to
I
quit
started
cigarettes.
drinking energy drinks. I quit that cold turkey on my own. I was drinking like 2 Monsters a day.
You said you drank a Monster before you got it.
I did. I've since started up again, but I quit for a good long while.
No,
Just all
it's-
the unhealthy
cigarettes
things.
were $7.25 when we quit.
Ugh,
Yeah,
I've got to quit. I hate it.
you just gotta quit. But
I know.
You just gotta.
Do you know anybody who hypnotizes people? Does that still work?
I think you can do online stuff. Look up on YouTube. Hypnotizing quitting smoking. I'm sure there's videos that you can listen to while you sleep. There used to be a hypnotist that came through the Looney Bin.
I do remember.
And he would sell after his shows. He would sell DVDs with the hypnosis of quitting smoking cigarettes and quitting drinking and things like that
Oh,
that you would listen to while you slept.
okay. I'll look into that.
That I know they have them. You can.
Okay.
I'm sure you can find something online.
Okay, I'll definitely look into that.
But it's the type of stuff that you listen to while you sleep. So when you wake up, you have that
Yeah,
like
subliminal.
that seed planted in your head.
Inception.
Yes,
I just
That's
watched that recently.
it's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
But no, that's what it is. That's like having a conversation with somebody plants a seed like that. You know,
Yes. it
like
can.
when you talk to somebody about, like for example, anytime I have a conversation with people about quitting drinking, that conversation sometimes plants a seed in people's heads.
Yeah.
And 6
Yes.
months down the line, they're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna quit drinking. You know?
Yeah. The possibilities are endless. You
Every
never know who you might make an impact on.
That's the point of this. That's the point of this. That's the point of talking to average everyday people like yourself there.
You've always had a positive impact on people, I feel like, at least on me and my friends.
Well, I mean, I've always tried to in my life to be that way,
Yeah.
you know?
I felt like I struggled for the longest time on like how to live a good life, even though I was a good person.
What do you
Like-
mean?
Like there's good people and there's bad people. And I really was trying to categorize everybody into those two areas. Like there's good people and you can try to live a good life. And there's bad people who can live a good life also.
Mhm.
I want to be a good person and live a good life. I don't want to be a bad person trying to live a good life. Does that make sense?
Yes, which is basically a fraud.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you just
Yeah.
described, a fraud pretending.
Yes. And I felt like my personal compass had just been like smashed to pieces when my mom died, when my grandma died, when my whole life fell apart that I had known and built for 10 years. I had a cozy little home. I had to grieve the loss of my mother, my grandmother, and my marriage, my job, because I felt like it was just too much and I needed to take some time off, focus on my family during the pandemic. And I never grieved properly during that time. So
Do you think that you're still grieving
I
now?
do. I still ache for my
Like, do you
mom.
think maybe that's possibly why you have, you said you every once in a while have outbursts.
Yes.
Do you think that,
Like
that
I'll go
it's
into
possibly stems from some of that?
yes, like I'll have triggers that really send me into a little depressive episode. I haven't really had one since I've been on the medication. So like that's helped immensely. The last one that I had was right before she changed my medication. So like after that, my therapist was like, I'm really going to recommend you go see an actual psychiatrist, make sure that you're on the correct meds because I just been seeing like a family doctor
Hmm.
just to get on a general antidepressant. And
And he doesn't have the knowledge of a psychiatrist.
yes, so seeing the psychiatrist and she listened to me. I felt heard when I sat and talked with her. I got to tell her about my life, all of the environmental triggers that I'm living in because like it's not easy the way that we live. Like it sounds fun and it sounds glamorous when you say it a certain way, but it is fucking hard. Like I live in a house with no toilet. So if I have to pee in the middle of the night, I have to either walk to my kid's house or I have to walk up front to the staff bathroom. So like
Yeah.
like 60, 40, 50, 60 yards either way.
Hopefully you don't have to pee really
Yeah,
bad.
and like I'm not getting any younger. I'll be 40 next month.
Oh my God, we're in our 40s.
I know. It's so weird. So there's challenges and like walking up and down the road every time I wanted to make myself a snack after a hysterectomy was real hard. We also had plumbers that week that were there, like putting the city line in down the length of our driveway. So like
No,
walking
so
up,
digging a trench, yeah.
yeah. So like after 2 days after surgery, I'm trying to walk up there to get myself something to eat.
And you got these
And I got
plumbers
these
working.
plumbers here. I got kids running around, and also they all had stomach flu. When
Oh,
I came home from the hospital, I was locked in a house with 3 kids who had the stomach flu. So it was like shitting and throwing up everywhere. It
oh
was just the
goodness.
worst. It was the worst imaginable scenario you could have. Ugh. That week was hard.
Ugh.
Yes, that week was hard for many, many reasons. But that was the week that kind of triggered it. Like things just got so overwhelming and so hard that I just could not process it. And
Like mentally
yes,
process it.
I just couldn't
Like this
handle
is
it.
not happening kind of thing.
Like I just had to shut down. And like my brain did that for me, but not in a healthy way. So that's why I've continued going to therapy is to learn how to deal with things in a healthy way. And that's why I saw the psychiatrist because she knew how to get my brain in a capacity that was working for me, not against me. Because I could take the same sentence that someone said to me, what was this, May, 3 months ago? I could take the same sentence that someone said to me then and internalize it and just feel that I was the biggest burden on the face of the earth and I just wanted to disappear so bad because I had inconvenienced them in some way. I'm like, I hadn't.
Yeah.
I had
You were
asked,
just making that
I
up.
was just making it up in my head. Like the voices in my head saying, you're a burden, you're worthless, were screaming so loud. They drowned out all of the I love yous and you're okays from the people that were saying it.
So
And
I was trying to explain to somebody one day the day that I found myself looking over the edge of a bridge. I was like, that depressive feeling is so strong that it outweighs every good thing that's
yeah.
over here. It's so weird. It's the best way I can describe
Yes,
it.
it's
is
like
that
the
it's
nothing
just
from the never ending story. It's like the nothing is just taking over and it destroys all the good memories and good thoughts that you could have stored away in your brain.
yeah.
And those dark times, like I remember driving around. I have terrible eyesight. I mean, these are like Coke bottle lenses on my glasses,
I can
but
see
yes, they're bad.
your
The
cheek
power was
goes from
out.
here to over
I
here
know.
under them.
The power was out, so I couldn't see to put my contacts in this morning. But I was driving at night, which is almost impossible for me with or without contacts. Like I have really bad astigmatism. And I was driving these really dark, curvy roads. And I remember thinking, like, am I going to be that upset if I like miss the turn and like fly off the road? Is anybody going to really care?
Hmm.
I don't think anybody would care if I just never came home. Like I should park the car before I hurt myself, maybe. But then that was like the scariest thing I had ever done was thinking about like losing control of myself. Like not intentionally hurting myself in my mind. I wasn't looking at it that way. I was just losing control.
Like letting go of the
Letting
wheel.
go. Yeah.
If
I
it
didn't do it
happens,
on purpose. Yeah.
kind of thing.
Which is stupid because of course it's going to happen. So I was intentionally doing it.
Hmm.
And then one day I was like Googling how much does it take to overdose on trazodone? Because I take that for sleeping because I wasn't eating or sleeping after my surgery. Like I couldn't eat or sleep for weeks. That wasn't helping anything. Like basic functions are not going to help your brain be healthy if you're not helping your body be healthy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I still haven't improved my diet a whole lot. It's mostly donuts, but
You'd be surprised how much a diet actually does help your
Um,
mental state.
I know I need to eat better.
Well, no, not eating better, just eating more consistently.
Yes.
You know, like it doesn't have to be all healthy foods.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I
need to
mean?
eat some healthy
But
foods. I don't
like,
eat any healthy foods.
okay, maybe you do need some healthy foods in your diet. Maybe some carrots
It's
every
like
once in a while.
90% donuts, and milk and
Donuts are
cereal.
Man, I haven't eaten cereal in so long.
I can't live without cereal, man.
I used to not be able to. It's
could
just
not.
full of so much sugars.
I could not.
Like-
Cinnamon Toast Crunch all the way.
Oh man, that's what I'm talking. Cinnamon rolls.
I know.
Those
See?
like with there's this place called Kitchen 324
Mhm.
in the city.
Yeah.
They have these cinnamon rolls. Oh my god!
Mm.
Every time we go, it's so good.
Yeah. See, ours are like real big.
Yeah.
Tall.
Yeah.
Real gooey.
I'm gonna get those to come out for
You
sure.
definitely get one.
Might come out tomorrow and bring my parents.
Ooh.
My mom's in town for grandson's graduation.
Awesome.
So they're in town for a couple weeks. So weird. My nephew just graduated. How old's Layla now?
She'll graduate next year.
Oh my god.
I know. Like out in the world, working, living her life.
You said she works hostess at the press.
Yes.
Where's the press? The press.
It's
I
over
know
in the
her.
plaza.
Okay.
There's like the press and the mule, and it's the same owners. So Layla works at the press, and her best friend works at the mule, I think. They're both hostesses.
Okay. The mule. The mule's moved.
Okay, yeah.
It was our friend owned. Our friend is part of Sideline Bar, which took over where the mule was.
Okay.
Do you remember Jason Roberts by any chance? If I showed you a picture, you might recognize
Yeah,
him.
probably. It sounds familiar.
Big Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Yes. It's.
He's
I
the
can almost picture his face.
tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the chef at the Sideline Bar.
Oh,
Great.
okay.
But I don't remember where the mule moved to. It's just down the street, though, I think.
Yeah.
Kat, what are you doing?
I don't come to the city often enough. I just come here to shop for meats once a week, and that's like a very direct,
Honestly,
which I have to do after I leave here. I gotta go get more meats.
Say honestly, if I lived where you live, I wouldn't come up here that often either.
It's a different way of life. It's just slower out there. Even though it's like the next Yukon, it's doubling in size
Yeah.
all the time. It's still a different pace out there.
Well,
It's just
this city's getting ridiculous. The traffic is ridiculous. Me and my wife see people run red lights all the time.
oh my gosh.
All the time.
Yeah. Out there it's
In front of cops. Cops don't care. I saw an ambulance do it the other day. A freaking ambulance. The light turned yellow and he sped up. I was on my motorcycle at the
with
time. And I
light
stopped.
flashing?
No,
Oh,
no. Hafford. Pafford.
okay.
They run red lights, FYI.
Maybe they had someone in the back and it was a
Nope.
little urgent.
Nope.
No.
Nope, because they cruise slowly down the street. I watched him in front of me.
Oh,
Don't give me that crap. He's just a bad driver. What I thought was funny is they're the people who show up to accidents when those running red lights become T-bones and
Yeah.
people die. They're the people who show up to take care of those people, but yet they're the ones running the red lights. Like, are you freaking
Maybe they are
serious, dude?
thinking if they do it, then other people won't do it.
Whatever. Quit making excuses for
I have no
shitty
excuses
drivers.
for other drivers. People are terrible. I have to drive the 40 gauntlet whenever I come to the city.
Yeah.
So it's all under construction.
Oh, that's
right
true
now.
because you go right by Tinker
Mhm.
entrance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been under construction at some point since I moved. that
Oh
way.
yeah, aren't they expanding all of
Mhm.
I-40 right there?
All the way to Hera. So it'll be,
So it's gonna be 3 lanes all the way out past here?
yes,
Because
that's gonna be real nice.
is Hera before or after 240 connects
It's
to?
after.
It's after
So
240.
you can take I-40 all the way to the Kickapoo Turnpike and take that 2 miles north, and then you get off that street, and then that's the street that we live on.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. Or you can go to the next exit after the turnpike, and that is the intersection of the
Hera
street
Road.
that we, Hera Road.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can get there
I know where it is.
any of the ways.
Yeah.
It's real easy to find.
But yeah, they're
But-
gonna be doing construction on that for a long time.
Yes, very, very long time. We're gonna have construction at the barbecue just next week. So our goal is to be a drive-through, so we can get that 7 to 9 business.
Nice.
Well, I haven't
On the
been-
way home. Pick up some Hey honey, pick up some barbecue on the way
You'd
home.
be so surprised how many people do not get out of their car after dark. We live next to a Brahms and a McDonald's and a Sonic.
Okay.
Their drive-throughs are killing it. That's from 7 to 9.
Really?
Yes, even later than that. But
Yeah.
we're not going to be open past 9, I don't think.
Yeah.
We're all human and have families and
Yeah.
lives.
Which is fine.
We want to live to work. We want to work to live, not live to work.
Exactly.
But our work is life. They're so interconnected.
There's still a good balance you can make.
Yes, we want
That's
to
why I went
grow
back
at a
to
rate we
waiting
can handle.
That's why I went back to waiting tables. That's so I could focus on the things I want to do, like this, instead of working a corporate job and working in a restaurant. Like,
Letting go of stereotypes.
Yeah.
Like I do gruesome work. I'm like in the grease pits. I'm in the smokers. I've got smoker drips in my hair all the time. It's like I have burns on my tattoo from the smoker dripping on me.
ooh, it's
See?
a cupcake being abducted by an alien
Yes, with a rainbow.
with a rainbow coming out of it.
Yes, but that's a burn. This little light spot.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those.
Yeah.
I'm working in kitchens. On
Yeah, little. I've got some
coffee cup. I like
other
that.
burns. I've got a pig smoking a doobie.
a pig smoking a doobie. Yeah.
My mother would not approve, which is why I got
I'm
a
sure your mother
capture.
would not approve of some of the things you've done in your life.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm very sure. I think she would approve of what we're doing now. I've come a long way since she died.
We've all come a long way.
Yes.
Well, none of us are the people we were when we were 30 or
No.
25 or
When did I meet you? How old were we?
Layla was in diapers.
Okay, so that was
Still.
15 years ago.
So 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was 27.
I was 25.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
I
I just
was-
thought I got to pee.
Okay.
You can tell people again about your barbecue place where
Oh.
it's located.
Okay. Yes. Come out to Hera to Blacktop. You can Google it or look us up on Facebook. I do not do the social media liaison job. My partner does. But we do meet updates throughout the day. And you can call ahead to order any stuff if you want. You can even message us on Facebook and we'll save you food. It's 2024.
Yeah.
We're hip, we're cool. I do let my daughter, whenever she's in vicinity of the phone, she'll get to make the Facebook post. We'll dictate to her what we want to say, and she'll type it up with her little finger so quickly on that iPhone. She's so funny. I will say that Penny, my daughter, is probably the best employee other than the ones we have right now.
Employee of the month.
She's like employee of the year. Other than the people who get paid, I am very proud of her customer service.
She is the
skills.
volunteer employee of the year.
Yes. Well, she gets paid for her work too. Do you hear that, Leslie Osborne? She gets paid. She's the labor commissioner. My brother's friends with her, so it's okay. We won't get in trouble. But Penny loves to work in the
Kids
window.
work in family businesses all the time.
I know.
They're not under the same labor laws, unfortunately.
Yes. Okay.
So you children have no rights in families.
She gives up all of her rights. They're on the Facebook page too. We have their pictures
Yeah.
and stuff on there.
How old's Penny?
She's 11. I have an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 7-year-old as of today. And then
And
a 17-year-old.
Goodness. You still got years of hell in front of you.
I know. But we do have a go-kart track out back.
Heck yeah.
You need to look at the Google picture of our property, like the Google Earth. It'll show you a much better view. But it's like, if you're looking at an aerial, like this is 29th Street. So here's the barbecue. Our driveway comes all the way down. And there's like buildings, a little yard, our house, a big shop, the kid's house. There's a pond, and there's like a big, huge field that goes all the way back.
Uh-huh.
And back there is the go-kart track. It's been there for a long, long time. But
I'm gonna look it up.
okay.
I'm downloading Google Earth.
Oh, okay.
I used to have it, but
I don't have it anymore either.
Well,
I
I
would have
really-
busted it out to show
I
you.
don't really look at fucking Earth
I
that much.
know. I don't forget to. There's cool things to look at.
Yeah, there's cool things to look at. Like sometimes I'll see videos about, did you see the spot in Antarctica that's blacked out by the government?
Oh, that's
know?
interesting.
Music. What's the address?
20884 Southeast
SE,
29th Street.
Hera, Oklahoma.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Isn't it amazing how GPS used to
That's
be like
so
a military
crazy.
thing?
Okay, yeah. So that's the ball fields that are next to us. This is a pawn shop. Okay, so this is the front.
That's the barbecue. Oh, I
Yeah.
see the little tables.
Yep. So that's the joint up front. That's the kitchen. This is an old house that's getting torn down. There's the yard. This is, oh, so right under these trees right here, that's
where
our
you-
house.
Yeah.
And this is the big shop. And then, so Casey is a retired mechanic. He was a mechanic for like 25 years.
Okay.
And this is the little house where the kids live. And then we used to have an Airstream parked there. But there's our pond, and there's the burn pile, and then here's the
Go-kart
track.
Heck yeah.
So we have 2 storage containers, like shipping containers,
Yeah.
because we live in tiny houses now. And you remember how much junk I had in my houses? Like I always had
Yeah.
all kinds of antiques and shit.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they're
you
in
really
shipping
like
containers.
antique shop.
Yes.
Like every weekend you went to antique
I still
stores.
do it. He asked me today if I was going to stop by there on my way home. But yeah,
Nice. I like your
So
little
it's-
plot of land.
it's fun. It's like a little oasis in the middle of Hera.
That's what we want. I mean, I think my ultimate goal is the same as my dad's. Is like I want to be able to walk out on my porch naked and not have to worry about
Yeah.
the neighbors seeing me. You know what I mean?
We have some neighbors that are a little too close. When it's summertime and everything is filled in green, we can do that.
That's what I'm saying. Your 5 acres look like a long.
Yes, it's
strip.
long and skinny. But in the wintertime, like we can see the ball fields
Yeah.
next door.
Because all the plants die.
Yes.
Cool. You're not walking out naked in the winter.
Yes, I don't do that anyways. The people at the tulip fields would enjoy that, I'm sure.
Check out this tulip.
I could walk out with 2
Sorry.
sunflowers right here. Those people are nice. Those are the neighbors we like. We don't like the ball field neighbors. She has a lot of softballs. She won't build a fence. Not a fence, a net. Okay, Top Golf has a net, right?
Yeah, but they're also a multi-million-dollar
I
company.
know. She has poured millions into her company.
Oh, okay.
It's like one of the
She should
nicest ball complexes in the state. She won't put up a net, so I have to worry about my kids getting beamed by a
So-
ball. They're playing outside.
Are you guys on the
We're on the west.
outer field
Yeah, all of
of it?
the outfields
or up
are
to
close
your
to our property.
fence? Okay.
And they practice. They warm up in the middle areas between the fields
Mhm.
that come right over our fence.
Dicks.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking softball.
So
players.
I've turned in a trash bag full of like over 100 softballs to the police department. They say it's not littering. Please explain to me how that's not littering on our property. They say it's a civil issue, which I have the cop's phone number of his like personal cell phone. I was like, Timmy, what the hell, man?
His name's Timmy.
His name's Timmy.
Does he drive a muscle car?
He
Police
drives.
car?
He drives the Dodge Ram truck. He's the code enforcement officer.
Right, it does. Doesn't say police on the side.
It does. It's
Hell.
Era Police.
Hell yeah, it does. Bet you he gets out and hikes up his pants.
Oh, they all do. There's some of our customers too, so we do like the Hera Police.
Hey, everybody likes police.
Yes. When they enforce
Are
laws.
doing good stuff.
When they enforce ordinances like littering, but that's
Of softballs.
yes. But, I mean, we have another huge amount collected already, and like the season just started not long ago.
You know, I can see how they don't consider that littering, I guess.
They said it's like if your neighbor's playing ball and it comes over in your yard.
Yeah.
We've destroyed a John Deere deck, an LA 105 mower, destroyed the deck because of her softballs. So like a big money
Damage of property.
Yeah. She's broken glass on our property with the softball. Not her personally, it's the people that she allows to practice in her park
Yeah.
areas. But we have a tractor now, like a big $30,000 tractor,
do
and if
people-
it ruins the brush hog,
Do people pay to use her field?
yeah.
Well, I'm sure that there's some sort of liability or insurance that she probably has to carry in case of damage like what you're sustaining. I'm sure.
We have to file a lawsuit against her though.
Obviously.
It's getting to that point.
Or you could just go beat her up though.
Oh, those were the days
Yeah.
back when we could do that kind of stuff. Go
Mhm.
break some elbows and knees.
Unfortunately, you don't do that in your 40s anymore.
No.
Now we're at the age where we start to write stern letters.
Yes, we already had an attorney send her one.
Really? A
Yes.
cease and desist? Is that what it is?
We just pretty much like you need to stop sending the softballs. You need to get a net. But we've also talked to the city inspector in the last few months, and he walked the property with us when we got our plumbing inspected. And he was like, "Oh yeah, she should have a net." So maybe someone's looking at her. I hope. She owns the whole corner, so she thinks she can bully people around.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Small minds and a little bit of power.
And she is not nice. She's just a very, like the proverbial cunt, if you will.
Hey, there's plenty of them bitches out
Yeah.
there.
Yes, that's her.
We're
She's
actually-
never been nice.
Speaking of
She,
cunts.
oh,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
she called the police because our pigs got out onto her property. And she insisted that they cite us for animal at large, which was a $140 citation ticket
See,
from the
she's
city
just
of Hera.
being
We
petty.
paid it because the city gets it. Like, we'll gladly pay it for wasting the cops' time, but we want her ticketed for something. Like, what ordinance is she breaking that we
That's
can
what
get
I'm
her
saying,
ticketed
like,
for?
That's just being petty.
I
Like you won't do
Yeah.
your
had to get rid of my pigs because of her. Like,
wait, you had to get rid of pigs on your property?
yeah. Well, we didn't have the time to fence in the entire
Oh, okay.
length of the property along her. I don't have time or money to do that.
Yeah.
So we just got rid of the pigs. It was a sad day. Anyways, speaking of cunts.
Oh no, I was gonna say, speaking of cunts, we're going to London this summer.
Oh, that's so exciting. Are you going to come back with an accent?
What are you talking about? I'm going to go there.
Watch a lot of Peppa Pig before you go.
Right.
I don't miss those shows.
No, but cunt is a very commonly used word over
And
there.
twat.
Twat? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know cigarettes are called fags.
Yes. Oh, what else? My mom loved all things British
Yeah.
when she was alive. My brother, for Mother's Day or her birthday one time, he bought her a little parcel of land or like a square foot of land in Ireland.
Oh my God, he bought one of those
Yeah.
little certificates.
Yeah.
You own this.
You're a
inch.
Lady Rebecca Millard.
Yes.
So
I
she,
remember those.
yes. So she had that on her wall for many, many years. She was just like, oh, that's the best.
I remember those commercials.
Yeah.
Like you literally buy like 1 square foot of
Yes.
land so you can call yourself a lord or a lady or
Yes.
something. Yeah.
She loved it. And it was in Ireland, not Britain, which
Still.
I know she still loved it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think I get that.
I'm excited to go over there. I haven't been
What are
over
y'all
to
gonna
Europe.
do while you're there?
The people we're going with have some sort of itinerary stuff.
Oh, man.
Which yeah, I'm not an itinerary person. I mean, I'm okay with it if other people set it up, but I'm not setting up an itinerary.
Yeah.
I'm not figuring. I'm not spending all that
Winging it.
time, man hours. I'm like, what do we want to do today? Let's go here. Okay, you know.
Really tough.
But I mean, I'm sure we'll visit all the touristy sites and stuff. Lived there when I was a young child, so it'd
Okay.
be interesting to see as an adult.
Oh, my mom went there when she was like 2 to 3, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
1 to 2.
I remember it. I remember it vaguely because it was like first, second, and third grade. when I was
Yes.
there,
Oh, so you
know?
learn a lot while you're there. Like that's when you learn to read and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's one of the things I like most about our upbringing is we moved around because we lived
Yeah.
in England, we lived in Germany, and then we moved here. But before that, we lived in the States. But we were those formative years.
Yeah,
We
you were
were
cultured.
yeah,
The
we
culture that
saw
a lot
different
of kids don't
cultures
get.
and yeah, and had to accept other people's cultures because you're in their home.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
it's not like being here and accepting people's cultures. Like
Learning what
no,
an outsider
you
is.
have to adjust because you're the outsider.
Yes. I would love to go visit Europe someday.
Plan a trip, just do it.
Yeah.
I know
One
you got
day.
I know you got kiddos and stuff.
Yes. When they're grown, I'll do some exploring. Hopefully by then they're running the barbecue.
Hell yeah. What you talking about 16, 17, they can run a barbecue doing, you know?
Someone's got to make sure they're not burning it down.
That's what you're man for. You can go on the trips. Leave them here.
See, and he's the one who's been to Germany before. I would need him to go with me.
What was he in Germany for?
Oh, he went there for like a class trip when they were in high school or something like that,
That's
I think.
cool. He's a big boy.
Yes, he's very tall.
How big is he?
He's like 6'3", 6'4", I think.
6'3". Was he 250?
Yeah, about.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of him.
Yep. He's a big
Big
teddy
old
bear.
bird. Big old
He has
beard.
a wonderful beard.
Yeah.
My kids love him. They love him so much.
Good. You've already been fed. Don't let her lie to you. She eats better than we do. Like her cans of food literally have fish heads in them.
Wow.
Like they have fish eyeballs looking at you.
Oh, connoisseur of the fish
Yeah.
foods.
She digs it. She likes it. So
Hey, we went fishing this weekend.
yeah, that was you went what lake did you go
We
to?
go to Lake Eufaula.
Eufaula?
My partner's family has a lake house down there.
Yeah.
And so we went down there to celebrate my dad and Archie's birthdays. And my brother and his wife and kids were able to come for one night.
Yeah.
But my kids absolutely love fishing. And I love going down there and slowing down because it is an even slower pace than Hera is.
That's my favorite thing about vacation is not having to do anything.
Yes. And I've never vacationed, and it's not even a vacation, it's just a getaway, like a quick little getaway, but it's enough. I've learned how
Just
to
a few
utilize
days.
them. Yes.
Absolutely.
Like we left Saturday evening and came back yesterday morning, Tuesday morning. So
Yeah.
just enough time to relax and do some swimming and some fishing. And my son Robert caught 7 fish.
Did you all eat them?
We ate one that Penny caught. It was a big one, big crappie.
Did he send his back?
Most of his went back. They were a little small.
Yeah. No, that's too small, buddy. Let's
Yeah.
throw that one back.
A lot of baby
That one needs to
catfish.
get bigger.
So we knew the baby catfish were around, the big catfish were not. These
What do
kids.
you think is what's your man's name?
Casey.
What do you think is different about Casey than the other men?
Everything. His patience, his attentiveness.
And how long have you been with Casey?
Since Thanksgiving of 21.
And how long have you known him? 20?
No, since September of 21.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it was just like I knew, like everything about him just felt right. Like, when you touch somebody and like their skin just feels right.
No, that's kind of creepy, but that's
Okay.
very Hannibal Lecter
Okay.
ish of you.
I don't know. Like when I touch him, like everything about his skin just feels right. I don't know how else, like what other word to describe it as. And I've never felt that way about anybody. Like I knew that I settled with.
Casey, if you ever end up dead, I will look into her first. Just FYI.
Oh, we call our farm the farm of death because we've had animals die out there that we've had to bury. So I can dig my own grave with the bucket on the tractor. Thank you.
No, but seriously, I get that you say that when you touch him that his skin feels just right. Like I assume that's more of like you feel comfort.
I do feel
When
comfort
touching
and
him.
safe. Like I feel safe around him. I don't think I've ever really felt safe around anybody. Like safe enough where I didn't have to watch out for myself. Like I could totally turn my back and let someone watch my back for me.
Oh, like they'll take care of things and
Yeah.
you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, like I can go take a nap when my children are awake and about. And I could never do that with my ex-husband. Like never.
You didn't feel
No. Like if I took a nap, he would take a nap. And then my dad would catch my kids down the street playing near a large intersection or something.
yeah.
So that was not a feasible option ever for 10 years. And it was just perpetual being pregnant, most of that. And I had a lot of miscarriages in between. So
Just a regular old fertile myrtle,
I
aren't
know I'm fixed now.
you? Not anymore,
Yeah.
suckers. I think four's about.
Yes, I think 4 is more than enough.
I can't imagine having my mom's boyfriend that she has now, Jim. He's like one of like 9.
Casey's one of 7.
Yeah. Like I can't imagine being me and my brothers. There was 3 of us. Like I can't imagine being
Yeah.
part of that big of a family. Like
Yeah.
that's
It's wild.
how do you afford that?
I know. Going to family gatherings like the Christmas, I was like, man, we got to step up our gift game this year. I'm like in the family now. They're getting my kids presents. I'm like,
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
Like you have 4 kids.
Yeah,
Like
they have 7.
how do you even do it with 4 kids
It's
nowadays?
you
Like
gotta
it's
make your lists and shop throughout the year, plan throughout the year.
not
Make them
living beyond
interested
your
in
means.
fishing, so you can always get them more fishing stuff.
Fishing stuff cheap or something.
I mean, lures aren't that expensive.
That's true.
Anything can be cheap if you shop
Yeah, if they
correctly.
have cheap hobbies.
Yeah, they have cheap hobbies.
You are an antiquer.
I know.
You are a thrifty shopper.
I do love thrifty things. I love repurposing things. I just bought a dresser for $25 and I'm sanded it and repainted it. It's
Dude.
green and gold.
Do you sell them or just keep them for yourself?
I'm supposed to keep it for myself. I'll sell one if
Have yourself
somebody
a
wants to
little
buy it.
Have yourself a little antique stand. next to the
Okay, so I
barbecue
would
stand.
love to own an antique store or at least have a booth somewhere at an antique
Just saying, you
store.
have an extra building that's to be torn down.
I know.
I'm not trying to give you ideas.
No, I already had that idea. That's nothing new. When the building next to us was for sale for like the last 2 years, it just finally got occupied by a fencing company.
Yeah.
It was an old pawn shop. I was like, this would be perfect for an antique store. Oh, everything in this store would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
But alas, a fencing company bought it. She's like whacking me with her tail. It was
Oh,
so funny.
she's digging it. She owns me. I'll be laying on the couch and she'll just walk right up on my chest and lay down and purr on my heart. It's amazing.
Oh,
I'm telling you, like I feel so relaxed when she does that.
yeah.
When she
I bet.
climbs up on me.
We just have the chickens now.
Yeah.
We have 11 chickens.
I want some chickens.
Chickens are funny.
I eat so many eggs. That's why I
Oh,
want them.
yeah. Well, it's a great benefit. They are a lot of work, but
You sure? Because I just read something earlier today about how they're very self-sufficient.
they are
animals.
very self-sufficient animals. They're a lot of work to like just get started.
Oh,
But once
okay.
you get established, you're like good.
Oh, okay.
And you're pretty handy. You could build your own coop.
Maybe. Yeah. I actually, friend, you know Ted Christianberry?
Yes.
Yeah. Ted built a chicken coop.
Oh, sorry, did I scratch you the wrong
No,
way?
she gets like that sometimes. Just get down. Don't be mean.
There she goes. Sorry.
She bites me every once in a while.
Okay.
Cats have this thing like they all of a sudden will just get this urge that they need to bite and they'll bite the closest thing to them.
Ah.
I don't
That
know
was
what it
me.
is. I don't know what it is,
She
but
didn't even draw blood or anything.
yeah, no, she did. They don't draw blood. It's just like an instinct that they have. They're like, I need to bite something, and they bite whatever's closest to them.
Well, thanks, Kitty.
Yeah, it happens to me every once in a while. But ow, because her teeth.
Yeah.
If she wanted to, she could.
Oh, yeah.
It would hurt. She owns me. But no, Ted built a chicken coop out of an old dresser.
Ah,
Yeah, he's got chickens at his house.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I remember him way back in the day. He used to come and play poker at my apartment.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love Ted. He's a good friend.
I've known him longer than I've known you.
Yeah. I met Ted Ted is childhood friends with Rachel.
That's right.
Like-
That's right. I see them
like
talk
that
about
was-
that stuff on Facebook all the time.
Ted was her
Yeah.
first kiss.
Oh my God, shut
You
up.
know,
That's hilarious.
the story that Rachel always tells me
Yeah.
is whenever they moved, because I guess they lived just a few doors down from Ted. Whenever they met when they were,
Yeah.
7 and 5 or
Oh
something,
my gosh.
and Ted had these big Coke bottle glasses
Yeah.
in the 90s.
Yes, yeah,
And
those are the
she-
2000s.
Yeah. And I guess whenever they moved in, he came over to her like, "Hey, can she come out and play with his little Coke bottle glasses, big old nerd?"
Oh my gosh,
You
that's
know?
horrible.
And then they've been friends ever since, So
See, I wish I had been friends with my partner when we were little. Like, I wish I had known him our whole lives instead of just now meeting him.
yeah, but then you wouldn't be
I
in
know.
the situation you're in.
I
Things
know.
would be completely different.
I would like to be kids with him
Yeah.
when he was a kid.
Is he that fun as an adult?
Yeah.
That he would be fun as a child.
Yes, he'd be
Yeah.
right up my alley. Like, he
Yeah.
would have been someone I would have like gravitated towards. But
I've never known somebody that long. Like I've never been a child, but we moved around.
yeah, and Sutton's my longest friend,
Mhm.
probably.
How long have you known Sutton? Y'all been friends
Since I
since
was
the kid?
19,
Hmm.
18? Since I was 18.
Okay.
She was 19. I'll be 40.
21 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a good long while.
It is.
Sutton's a good friend to have.
She is.
She's a good friend.
She's my best friend.
Besties. Like this.
She moved to Albuquerque.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Why?
because she's a lot happier down there.
Just
Oh, it's just a better state. It's a more welcoming state for her, and the weather's nicer for her, and
what do you mean by welcoming state?
I mean just LGBTQ friendly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're very conservative here.
Yes.
Even though it's accepted in this area, it's still
Yeah.
a very conservative state.
Yes.
There's very old-fashioned morals and
Mhm.
everything here.
Yeah, I mean, there's still like racism problems out in Hera at the middle school.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think unfortunately racism you're never going to get rid of.
No, I
There's-
wish we
there's-
could.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate it. I hate that my kids know what it is. But my kids know that they are not allowed to say the N word ever.
Mhm.
We've already had that discussion, which I hate.
Well, I think racism is a byproduct of just bullies.
Yeah,
I
it's a
hate
different
bullies
form
in
of
general.
bullying.
Oh, absolutely.
They're everywhere.
But it's still the same thing.
like, I'm so
know,
scared
like-
for my daughter going into 6th grade, middle school. It's rough. Middle school is rough no matter what. But nowadays with the phones and the bullying and like the internet, it's just
Do you have to deal with so you said your kids are how old?
11,
Not-
9,
not-
and 7.
Not
Not Layla.
not Layla. 11, 9, and 7.
Mhm.
Do they all have phones?
So I do not provide them with phones. Their father provided them with phones for the 11 and 7 or the 11 and 9-year-old and a tablet that's connected to a phone for the 7-year-old. So they have like
absolute access to the internet.
pretty much. They say they can't get on YouTube and they say they can't get on Google, but I don't know how to check their devices. Like, they don't really bring them to my house.
Okay.
They just leave them at his house because they know they don't use them at my house.
Okay.
So why bother?
Yeah.
Like, it's a
But
big deal
still-
if they ask to bring their phone to my house.
But they have like social media accounts and do they?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
I would hope I knew.
That seems to be where a lot of the bullying online
Yeah.
happens is on social media.
And I know
It seems
Penny's
like-
getting to the age where 13 you can have an Instagram, right?
I'm not
I
sure.
think it's 13. So she's getting closer. She'll be 12 this year.
But still, how do they absolutely check that?
There's no way.
Because literally,
They
pretty-
could go through and delete every single thing before they come home from school.
that too, and like for example, I'm pretty sure on like porn websites you have to acknowledge that you're 18 or older to
Mhm.
get in, and I'm pretty sure it's just a button that says
Yeah, I'm
I'm
18.
18.
Yeah.
You know?
Or you have to enter in your birth date. So if you enter in one that's old enough,
Yeah.
it lets you in.
Well, that's just you're punching in numbers
Yeah.
at that point. You
Yeah.
know, like it's not like they're actually checking your ID.
Yeah. So I don't know. We talk pretty openly about like predators and sex and stuff like that. My kids know most of the good, the bad, and the ugly.
They know how to
They
tell
know
the
how to,
difference between appropriate and
Yeah.
inappropriate.
yes, good touch, bad touch.
Yeah.
And they know what to do if a bad touch occurs.
What about talking? Because like that's where
Grooming,
grooming.
yeah,
that's
that shit's
that's
scary.
where the grooming happens.
Casey and I have discussed numerous times on if we should like have a fake scare for Penny, like that, she's agreed to meet up with someone, like see how far it would go with her on her phone. Well, I mean, like just to scare her into knowing that, like, it could be a stranger, Penny. This is us, your parents, like coming to your door.
I get that, but don't you
I
think
know, it's
maybe
like,
she might hate you for that?
yes, and I like that's why we haven't done it yet. But I don't know. It's just you have to be open and honest with your kids about things. That's the best way to go about it that
Yeah,
I have found, and to not hide things.
because they're gonna find it.
They're gonna
eventually.
find it,
They're gonna,
and I want to know what they know more than
and
anything.
even if they don't find it, their friend might show it. To
Yeah,
them, like,
they're
"Hey,
gonna
check
know.
out this website.
They're gonna know eventually.
Yeah,
I just want to be able to talk about it with them when they do find it, and talk about how they feel about it. Like, what are you gonna do with this information now? Or if they find out something about other people, like the gossiping thing. I gotta watch out for that with my daughter.
yeah.
Already, 5th, 6th grade, they're gossip mongers.
Are they really?
Yes.
What did Susie do now?
Yes. Every day. It's like, oh, what's the gossip today?
Did she come home and
Yes.
gossip?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's
Do
usually
you
like,
ask her what the gossip is?
no, I try not to. I don't want to encourage it, but she'll tell me the gossip. It's usually like, oh, there was a fight on the playground, and these two boys, Brantley and Hunter, like,
But
and
still,
like little girlfriends and boyfriends breaking up. And it's like, what do y'all do? Do you hold hands on the playground? No.
how are y'all boyfriend?
I know,
girlfriend
like
then?
you just talk to each other in the hall. No. Do you look at each other in class? No.
do
It's
they
just
do they seem to have any kind of inclination? What I guess we could. Penny's 11, so does she have any kind of inclination already what sex and things are like?
oh yeah, they've had the talk at school. At the end of 5th grade, they do the
How do-
talk.
how do you feel about that?
They teach them the basics. It's more about hygiene and puberty that they teach them.
Like, hey, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. This is how you need to clean.
This is how you take
kind of-
care of it. Like the girls, it's more for their changes in their body, and the boys, it's like where you're gonna grow hair and stuff like that. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
smell bad. Everybody needs to wear deodorant, and it teaches girls about like pads and tampons and stuff. I wish they taught boys about the girl stuff, so they would know not to make fun of girls if they start their period at school, because they're at the age now where all the little girls are starting.
Are they starting as early as 5th
Mhm.
and 6th
Fourth,
grade?
4th, 5th grade, yeah.
Because I remember when I went to school, it was like 7th, 8th grade.
No,
Girls were kind of getting boobs, and that's when
Yep,
it kind of
it's 4th.
started to be like.
4th and 5th grade.
I think
There's a
that's
girl who
gross
dresses
one.
like an absolute skank who's in 5th grade at my daughter's school. Like her parents allow her to go out of the house in like stripper clothes. She's been dress coded I don't know how many times. So it's the parents that don't care at that situation.
Obviously, yeah, she's going to be a stripper when she gets older.
I hate that for her. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that profession, but I just wish she had more worth as a young girl. I wish she knew she had more worth than her body,
Yeah.
because the
Oh.
way she dresses, that's all that she has confidence in.
Unfortunately, our society teaches you that sex is a thing that you can get by on.
Yes, and
Your
they don't teach you
looks and-
about romance.
No.
There's no romance. So funny story.
That's
My-
a good point. I like that.
Yeah, romance is totally gone, but
Go ahead.
sex is still there. And it's
But teaching kids
Yeah.
about romance and like
Yeah.
that.
you have to teach by example mostly, and they don't see that much anymore. Every time that Casey and I like hug, kiss, or have any kind of affection towards each other, even when he hands me a Dr. Pepper, they shout out romance from wherever they are on the property. It's so funny. It's my favorite because it means that they notice it, and they notice what it's like to take care of another person. Like they do it when I do it to him, when he does it to me. And
That's good. That's good
Yeah.
that they see that.
it's like my favorite tattletaling of theirs.
Yeah.
Like they get to tattle on grown-ups, 2 other grown-ups. Like, oh, romance. Oh.
My dad was being so sweet to my mom. It was
Yes.
gross.
Yes, that's what Penny's just now getting to the age where she's like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And Robert's real lovey-dovey, so he says, "Oh, y'all are so cute." But one day Archie had on his police uniform, like dressed up close, and he was like, "I'm the romance police."
None of that around here. Quit smooching on my mom.
We always joke that Casey pays me with money and smooches.
Money and smooches. Does he have any kids?
Mm-mm.
No.
He's never been married, never had kids. And we don't plan to get married.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's
I've been
plenty of
married
people that
twice.
don't.
It's just a piece of paper. It's literally a piece of paper to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. There's
Like
nothing
him
wrong with
showing me romance every day is something totally new and out of my element. I'm still getting used to it.
that. Sounds like you always dated assholes.
Except for you.
Yeah.
Did we ever go on a real date
I don't
anywhere?
think so.
I don't think so either. Just bars.
I think we just hung out. Kind of. I don't even remember it lasting really that long.
No, it was like,
wasn't a
hey, you're fun to
long-term-
talk to.
Yeah, like
We
let's
have
hang out.
conversations.
Yeah.
And then I moved to a different bar. There's only so many bars to hang out at back
True.
then.
That's true. Mike's or Lumpy's on Expressway, those are mine too.
Yeah, I haven't been to Lumpy's in so long. Like so many.
Completely renovated now.
Is it?
Oh, it's non-smoking now. They just renovated it like a
It's
year
all
ago.
bright and airy and.
It is. Like you know those dark blacked out windows.
Mhm.
They unblacked them out. They're still what's etched, so you can't completely see through it.
Oh,
But
okay.
it lets light in.
Like transparent or translucent or what is that?
Etched glass, the
Yeah,
tempered glass.
Tempered, yeah.
Maybe it's tempered. I think maybe.
frosty.
I don't know. Whatever, but you can't see through it.
Okay.
But you could see like the headlights of a car.
Okay.
So it allows light to come in. a bit.
Wow.
It's I mean, it's nice in there. Me and my wife think that they don't do very much business anymore though, because like they banned all the bad people.
Ah,
They
All
took
their
smoking
regulars.
away. And so many people that go there like to drink and smoke.
yeah.
I think they started doing something else maybe.
Yeah, I can't.
And then
They have to go somewhere.
Mike's became a pool hall.
Oh, it's like all pool?
Yeah, like they have like 12 pool tables in there.
Oh, wow.
They have poker tables. It's a nice little pool hall. You go
Wow.
in and pay hourly and play some pool.
That's neat.
It's okay. I mean, it still has the bar right when you walk in,
Yeah.
and everything. But then everything where the tables were is all pool tables.
Oh,
So
that's neat.
yeah,
Good.
they have 2 in the middle and then like 4 on each side. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Cool. I don't get that much.
I don't drink any.
I know I don't either. If I do go out to dinner, I try to go to the Press if Layla's working just to see her,
Yeah,
or a Mexican restaurant.
kidding. We're going on with Cholinos.
They've got a few good ones out east.
Yeah.
We have less options out
You're not that far away.
there. Nah.
Quit acting like you're 100 miles away.
I know.
Like I gotta go to the city.
That's what it feels like
Jesus
sometimes.
Christ. You act like you live in the middle of nowhere, Texas. and-
Sometimes it feels like that. I have lived in Texas though. Everywhere is middle of nowhere in Texas.
That's true. Except for Dallas.
Dallas is a scary place to drive.
Oh yeah, there's
I
so
do
many
know
people
that.
There. So many people there. Yeah. So, how's your brother?
He's good.
How's he taking?
He's all right with it. Like, he took it a little better than I did, just maybe in different ways. We grieved, but he also had a baby right at the beginning of the pandemic. So, well, he didn't have the baby; his wife did.
Obviously.
Obviously, and she was recently diagnosed with a chromosomal abnormality, and so they're dealing with that diagnosis.
What is that?
What all goes along with it? It's
The baby?
yeah, she's 4 now, so she's not really a baby, but it's just kind of like they're gonna have to take care of her for the rest of their lives kind of thing.
Oh, like she's on the spectrum.
Yes,
She has
a little bit.
mental
It's like
disorders?
it's in the microcephaly family. It's like it classifies as that because of the part of the brain is underdeveloped,
Okay.
but it's a chromosomal abnormality that causes that situation,
Okay.
the condition. So it's predominant in females, but there are males that have it, and there's only like less than 300 in the world that have been diagnosed. So it's still fairly new.
Wow.
Yeah. But one of the things about their disposition is that they're happy. They're just happy, happy, happy kids. It's very excited and very happy.
Oh, like nothing can bring them down, kind of like they're.
Stuff can
Overly
bring, like the end of a
positive.
Bluey episode can bring them down.
Oh, okay.
But for the most part, they're just happy little kids. And so I know that's
Is he or she?
she.
Is
Her
she
name's
going to be a
Margot.
happy little kid for the rest of her life?
Hmm. I think so.
That kind of
Yes, I think so.
type thing.
She'll develop. They don't know how far she'll develop. She'll develop for as long as she can, and then it'll plateau.
And she'll just stay wherever.
Yes. So they're going to do as much physical therapy and occupational therapy as they can while she's still growing.
Developing.
Mhm.
Give her the best.
She's
chance
come a
possible.
long way. Yes, give her the best chances possible for a successful life.
Yeah.
So I know he's reevaluating some of his priorities in life. He was really involved with civics and local politics. He's the executive director of Let's Fix This, which is a grassroots movement to encourage people to be involved in local politics. Like, just know who your legislators are. Doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, like, just know who your legislators are, know how to get in touch with them, know what it takes to sway a vote on a bill that you don't want or that you do want. Just general stuff. And he was really involved in that. He still is, but I think that he's kind of starting to step away from a few things
Focus on his family.
to focus on his family a
Which
little
would
more.
make sense.
Yes.
Especially with the diagnosis like that.
Yes. And they're consolidating households with his father-in-law. So their house is up for sale, just under contract, and they have to find a new house for sale. So they're
Because
stressed
big
about
enough to
that.
house.
Yes. Yes.
That's stressful.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be moving my brother, his father-in-law, and my dad all in the same section, because dad's going to move into the father-in-law's house and rent it from my brother.
Okay.
Well, my brother and everybody goes to a bigger house. A lot of logistics involved.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, the barbecue's got space. Just get a fifth wheel and come on out. We have RV hookups out there too.
Ooh,
Yeah, there's like 10 of them.
that's nice.
Yeah.
On your land?
Mm-hmm. Like out by the track.
So if you want barbecue and a place to park your RV,
we'll get
Harrah, Oklahoma,
we'll get the RV parts developed hopefully in the future.
Blacktop Barbecue and RV storage.
I don't know how I feel about people coming on my property. I've
No,
gotten so
I mean-
I've gotten so
I mean, like, the
cantankerous
visitors.
about like
I mean, like,
people coming around. Like, no, you can come and visit the front, but you don't come behind the big wooden gate. It's weird how protective I am now about.
I mean, I wouldn't want people back there.
The idea is fun.
It's one thing if you're like your father once, hey, I've just bought this
Yes.
Airstream. Can I park it on your land
Yes,
and live
that's
in
a
it?
definite yes.
Yeah, you can. I'll cook you barbecue cinnamon rolls every day.
Yeah, he gets that anyways.
Right.
He's out there almost every day helping us with projects.
Future reference. If we ever do this again, I want to send.
Okay, noted. I will be glad to bring him.
You originally had said that you were going to bring me some barbecue.
I know, but we weren't planning on being closed today.
That's true.
But we had 2 employees calling sick 2 days this week.
Well, that we were scheduled a few times.
Yes.
You had an employee issue the first time.
Yes.
I think
I know I almost had to do it today, but since we're closed.
Touche. That's good.
Yes.
We'll definitely get out there and try it. though.
Yes,
Like I
come
said,
out anytime.
I work lunch tomorrow. It's not raining. I don't know if it's supposed to rain.
I don't know. I
But
haven't
while
looked
my
at the
mom's
weather.
in town, if not next week, I'm off on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll bring her.
You can always just text
Or
me.
on Wednesday.
Just text me and give me a heads up that you're coming out. I'll save you something.
Cool.
You
We
get special treatment.
We definitely.
Thanks for all the plugs, the shameless plugs of our barbecue.
You're welcome. It's cool. I only have 57 subscribers.
Hey, that's a
So,
lot.
It's
That's
not
pretty
like I have a
good.
million people.
That's still pretty good.
It's better than
It
that.
starts out with 57.
It's true. It's gone up.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm waiting tables, if anybody ever asks my suggestion on something and I tell them something and they order it and they like it, at the end of the day, I'm like, did you like that? Like, yeah, man, it was really good. Good suggestion. I was like, cool. Well, since I did something for you, you think you can do something for me? And they're like, yeah, I can do that. What's up? I'll like pull up your phone, pull up YouTube, and I make them follow me.
Nice. We'll do it right
I'll
then.
make them follow me.
That's awesome.
And usually when we do an episode, like for example, like you'll go home probably and post this on your social media and say,
Mhm.
"Hey, look at this interview I did on Draws Ball." Sometimes that gets a
Yeah.
new subscriber and everything. Like it's growing.
Yeah. My dad will probably subscribe after this.
And that's, I mean, which is
If
great.
he hasn't already. I
Which is
told him
great.
about it.
I mean, it's live. They can actually listen to it right now.
Oh, no.
It's don't worry about it. They're
Yeah.
an hour and a half into it.
Woo.
They've missed most of it. But I mean, it's live. That's just the way I'm filming it right now until I get the proper equipment. This computer I have is not designed for this.
Oh, okay.
Well, this computer I have, I bought it to write my book.
So what kind of computer do you need?
An Apple.
Okay.
A friend of mine, he has an old Apple desktop
Yeah.
that he just sitting in his house and he's wiping and so he's going to donate it to the podcast.
Awesome.
He's actually my guest June 1st, I think.
Ooh.
So, but he's going to hook me up with one, which is awesome. So just waiting for him to wipe it.
Cool.
Yeah, so it works like this for right now.
Onward and upward, though.
Well, I mean, the whole goal was to be able to film it without it being online.
Ah, okay.
So everything that we've done so far, the programmings that we've used to film them
Yeah.
have been online.
Yeah.
This one currently is just through YouTube. But I have had so much issues with them. You know,
Yeah.
the YouTube Live has worked great, but it won't pick up the second microphone.
Oh,
So that's why there's only one microphone right
okay.
now. But the Apple computers, when you plug everything into an Apple computer, it works exactly the way we want it to work.
Of course.
So I think I just happened to buy equipment that works better with Apple than it does with Microsoft.
Well, hey, that's fine.
So,
Mm.
like I said, I mean, that was just bought to write my book. So
How's that going?
good. Good. I'm more than halfway done.
Awesome.
I have multiple chapters.
Awesome.
Like I want to take a chapter of it, which is the chapter where I talk about the day I found myself looking over the side of the bridge. That chapter, I want to take that chapter and submit it to book publishing companies.
Okay, yeah.
See if they can. It would be so much easier if I didn't have to fucking work.
Yes. Yes, it would.
Having a job sucks.
Yes, it does. I like having purpose, but not really the job.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I make my time to write and everything and whatnot, and I could do it while still obtaining a job. But
Yeah.
it would be much better for me and be much nicer if I could get a publishing company to be like, all right, here, we'll give you this much money
Yes.
and then give us your book by this time and then publish it, make their money back. Plus whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It'd just be so much easier. And that way we could focus on building the business that we're building and everything and the cleaning.
Yes. On the ball.
On the ball cleaning.
I love it. I love it.
Man, the day she came up with that name, I was sitting right there and she said it and I rolled that little roller chair out. I was like, that's perfect.
That is so good.
She said it. She said, how about on the ball cleaning? That's it.
That's so good.
That's the name right there. Wait, back to your brother real quick.
Okay.
One, shoot him a text.
Okay.
I'd very much like to sit down with him and talk about government
Okay.
with him
I
and
can do
his
that.
little what'd you call it? What's he into now? Who's he working with?
Let's fix this.
Let's fix this.
Yeah, that's his baby. He started it.
I would very much like to talk with him about that.
Okay. Yeah,
I like that stuff interests me as well.
Okay, yeah. He'll be the perfect person to talk
Knowing
about.
politics and what's going on in the world.
Yes.
He'd be a great person to talk to. I would very much like to talk to him.
Yes, I'll give you his info.
Or shoot him a text and give him my number. Whatever.
Yeah. For
Whatever.
sure.
Tomato. But I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I know you know a little bit about it, but he would be able to. We could sit there and talk for hours.
Yes,
About
I'm
how
sure.
corrupt the political system is.
Oh yes. Don't get me
That's
started on Swadleys. Stealing our taxpayer money.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Oh yeah, it's a big deal.
The news story were they at Texoma? where they built
yeah, they
that
built-
restaurant
They built restaurants at all the lakes, like all the state parks restaurants.
and they were Swadley's.
Yes, they're supposed
restaurants,
the
right?
soggy bottom, or
That's
the
it,
foggy
Foggy.
bottom,
Yeah,
whatever it is, soggy bottom.
whatever. Foggy.
So-
I think Foggy. I
Okay.
think you're right.
So they had the agreement to open up all these restaurants at the state parks, drum up the tourism department, make money for the state, blah, blah, blah. Well, they were writing invoices way inflated. All of a sudden, the Swadleys have these $1 million homes, and the restaurants are still failing. And they were told, "Don't worry about the numbers." There's a lot of he said, she said, he said, she said, pointing fingers. We're going to sue you. The state's going to sue you. Back and forth. So it's like $14 million the Swadleys stole from taxpayers. Just straight up stole. They said they paid $120 for a smoker, a custom smoker. We have 2 500-gallon custom smokers. No, I'm sorry. Nobody on this earth would pay $129,000 for that shit. Nobody.
Ugh. Honestly, their barbecue isn't that good.
No. It's too
I've never been a fan of Swadley's.
I haven't either.
I once ate their chicken and it gave me diarrhea.
Oh, hope our chicken doesn't do that. Ours is really good. It's
I love
just
chicken.
It's just smoked chicken.
I
It's not
love
barbecued either.
smoked
It's
chicken.
just smoked. We marinate it. We smoke it.
I love smoked.
You get it. It's deliciously tender
Yeah.
and fall apart.
I love smoked chicken. When we got I was working at the airport
Mhm.
at the time, and they had got Swadley's for everybody, buffet style. And that day, I swear to God, all of us went home and had diarrhea because whoever ate the chicken that day.
Oh
ended up
man, that's
diarrhea.
rough. Somebody should have called Swadley's to let them know. Not that they would care.
Not that I
Call the
don't
health
think they
department.
would care. This place is always busy right here.
Mm-hmm. The one on the corner of
Yeah, it's
Rockwell.
always got
Yeah.
packed cars. Even they do breakfast.
Well, they're Bethany people.
Yeah.
Their kids go to Bethany school, so they're like into Bethany schools, real big.
That doesn't mean
Bethany
shit
is.
to me.
Yeah. All the people who live inside the school district will support them till the end of time.
Yeah,
I think they go to church over there or something.
that's their food's not that great.
I think ours is better, but I'm a little biased.
That is true. You are biased, touche. But it's your spot,
Yes,
so.
it is better.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes better.
Everything tastes better when you put love in it.
That's right. I make all of our food with love.
Hang on, Val, my girl bladder. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Tell your barbecue.
Do-do-do.
Say, go here.
Go eat at Blacktop Barbecue at 20884 Southeast 29th Street in Hera, Oklahoma. But not today because we're closed. Go tomorrow and Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. until we sell out. Do-do-do. I'm not very good at talking during breaks. I hear a rooster in the neighborhood.
Bethany.
Yep. We haven't figured out if any of ours are roosters yet. They're still too young. But we got 6 that were guaranteed to be hens, and then we got 6 more that were guesses.
Do chickens change into roosters?
No, you
Like,
just don't know whenever they're little. Like, well, unless they're sexed.
when
Unless like
they're little chicks.
you can look in like their butthole or something and tell. I don't know how to do it.
I don't know either.
I could probably YouTube it, but I'll let other people do it and pay them. I'll pay the extra to guarantee they're female. And you just take a chance. Like if you buy them at Tractor Supply, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Yeah, we got 2 doors down. We have a Latin family. They have chickens, and I think that's where the rooster lives.
Yeah.
I think there's multiple people on the street. that do.
Mhm. There's a lot of people in Bethany that have chickens.
No, it's a great way to get eggs. Great way.
Ours haven't started laying yet, so hopefully they will in the next few months.
Ted's late enough, or they did. He gave us some eggs once, but now he's got a girlfriend that moved into his house.
Really?
I know. Theodore Christianberry has a woman living with him.
You know what's funny is his ex-girlfriend Marty
Uh-huh.
was from Hera.
Uh-huh.
I forgot about that. I
Yeah.
had forgotten about her. I haven't
That
thought
was
about her in years.
That was like high school girlfriend.
Yes.
Actually, Rachel doesn't really care for Marty because whenever they were together, like he wasn't allowed to hang.
Yes. That's how Marty was with all the females.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rachel doesn't like Marty because of that,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen or
But
spoken to her in years.
that sometimes when Ted gets a girlfriend, like that becomes his focus,
Ah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
which is understandable. I mean,
What a small world.
yeah.
Because Ted and Marty used to come and hang out with all of us and like play poker all the time and party. Get back when we drank like handfuls of vodka.
Yeah. Sunday fun days.
Oh my gosh, that's so long.
See, when I met Ted, I think he was with a girl named Jackie at the time.
I've only ever known him with. I just remember him with Marty. That's been as long since I've hung out with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have
So
been
long ago.
there have been multiple relationships, but not like significant, super significant ones. Not.
Is this one significant?
Yeah, she's very nice. Very nice.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I went over to his house to show him the motorcycle when I bought it, and he took it for a ride. So I went inside and hung out with her for a minute, and his house needed a woman's touch.
Oh, okay.
And she is bringing that woman's. I was like, oh my
Good.
god, it looks so nice in here. It doesn't look like just a boy lives here
Bachelor
anymore.
Ted.
Well,
Oh, Ted.
yeah.
Tell him I said hi. I don't know if he remembers me.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll tell him next time we see him.
Okay. I used to be friends with him on Facebook, but that was like 3 or 4 profiles ago because he keeps getting banned all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. My favorite thing is about him is he has 2 Facebooks. His Ted one, his Ted Christianberry one, and then he has El Castor,
Yes.
which means the beaver.
That's pretty funny.
He always defends himself too. That's my favorite thing about it is like he'll get into an argument on Facebook between him and somebody else, and then all of a sudden you'll see El Castor come in and be like, I agree with Ted.
Oh my gosh.
Ted is absolutely right on this.
That sounds like typical Ted.
I'm like, man, this is so funny to read. It's so funny to read them. But that's Facebook for you.
Yeah.
Well, I say you never know who people are sometimes.
Yes. You never know.
Like
The
you can,
best 5% of their life or whatever they want to show you.
But I try to post stupid stuff too, like picking up dog shit in the backyard. Like,
Got to keep them on their toes. You never know what content they're going to get.
But I mean, you gotta do shitty work.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, so. You know anything about what's going on in the world?
You mean like outside of this bubble?
Mm-hmm. What do you know about outside of your bubble?
A whole lot. I know they keep bombing Israel.
No, Palestine.
Palestine. Whatever. Israel keeps bombing.
Yeah.
I know our president sucks and all of our options suck.
What do you like? Go into that a little bit more.
No, we just don't have any good options for president.
I don't think so either.
We've never had great options.
I'm really tired of this.
This is the best we've got.
That's
Like,
how I feel. Like,
ugh.
really, you come down to
This
these
is not
2 people.
representative of anybody I know. None of the president candidates have ever been representatives of anybody that I know that lives a normal life. They don't represent us. They represent a different class of people, I guess.
They represent corporate
Yeah.
interests.
They're
to
just
me.
like aliens. They're all like aliens to me. I'm waiting for the aliens.
They're lizard people.
They've got to be better than what we've got.
Do you think the aliens are already here?
I think they've been by and been like, oh, this civilization's really young and stupid. Let's leave them alone.
Kind of like we're the ghetto of the universe.
Mhm.
Just lock,
Like they lock their doors,
your
yes.
doors as you drive by Earth.
Spaceship. Yeah, I feel like that's what we're.
You never
seen
know when
as.
a rocket might fire at you.
We're like young and stupid idiot kids, like little petulant toddlers in the universe.
That's one of my things is people think that we're so advanced and smart.
Oh, we haven't figured out.
We still fight over borders and resources, and like you think that we're actually smart.
Yeah, we haven't figured out.
I think there's smart people among us.
Lunar anything. Like we need to go out into the universe before we figure anything out.
We need to figure out how to work to better humanity first.
But I think it's going to take an influence from the outside for humanity to be changed.
You know, there was a president that actually had a speech one time who talked about that. He says, I think it would take the influence of an outside, uh,
By
Who's
entity.
no,
Hmm.
an outside force. Speaking of like
Hmm.
an alien force coming
Yeah.
to unite us as one globe.
Hmm.
I forget which president. I want to say it was like Reagan or Roosevelt or something like that. Like it was a long time ago.
Maybe Hoover, didn't he run the CIA?
Maybe it was Hoover.
He built the dam. All the secrets are
He
buried
didn't-
in the dam.
He didn't
Well, I
build
know.
the
He
dam.
didn't build it.
They named it after him. But yes, Hoover was.
I sound so intellectual in this podcast. Israel is bombing people.
No, Israel is being bombed. Is what you said.
Yes. Well, maybe they should be bombed.
What do you think about corruption?
It's
I know you know.
everywhere.
I know you know a little bit about it.
It's everywhere. That's all I know.
Do you think that it can be stopped?
I think that it can be. It's just going to take the power of a lot of good people to do that. And I don't know if that's an attainable goal.
I think it would take one. We need a president that doesn't care about being reelected in 4 years. We need someone who has
We need a better system
that too, but
where the president can make changes within 4 years that will help us as a society.
you ever listen to RFK?
Mm.
Robert Kennedy Jr.?
My brother is a big fan.
I am too. I've listened to him talk on a lot of things, and he talks the way we talk, like about the reform and change.
Yes. I think my brother might have met him.
That's pretty cool.
I remember he texted me one day, I met a Kennedy.
That's probably who he met. Then. He probably met RFK.
Yes.
I'd like to talk to him about that too.
Oh, okay.
I would love to sit down and have a conversation with Robert Kennedy. Like he's the reason the Hudson River got cleaned up.
Oh.
Like the work that he did as an environmental lawyer helped clean up the Hudson River,
Oh, wow.
caused corporations to stop polluting it and whatnot. Like that battle that they did.
Okay.
I think he has the right ideas.
Yes.
I think that corporate interests will not allow him to win.
Probably not.
But
He might have the charm to get in there. The charm
no,
of his family.
what I think is I think it's too early for somebody like him. I think a lot of people are starting to wake up with modern technology and how easy it is to get information and misinformation and all the bullshit you can to you. People are starting to realize that they're getting fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple more terms of presidents of getting fucked and fucked and fucked. People are gonna be like,
we're tired of this.
Well, I mean, just look at how inflation has rose the transference of wealth during the COVID stuff. Like the economy dropped by a ridiculous amount and the rich people became rich by almost more than that amount. Like it's people are starting
The
to
gap got
realize-
bigger.
Exactly.
That's all that happened.
And now we pay more for stuff, most of which was just profit greed. Was corporate greed.
Yep.
And they labeled it under inflation.
Yes.
But a lot of it was corporate greed. And I think people are starting to realize how much they're getting fucked and how long they've been getting fucked.
I hope there's like a mass awakening with the people. But I mean,
but see, that's
how do we make change?
That part I don't know. That's why I want to talk to people like your brother.
Yeah, you have to
because
lobby.
they understand how the system works. It's all of
They understand how hard it is
it's
and
all
what you
again.
have to do to gain the momentum
It's all
behind
again.
your change that you need.
And how do you have to learn how to play their game and beat them at their game. And that's what I don't know.
Lobbyists down at the Capitol.
I think that's one thing
That's
for
part
sure.
of it.
Well, that's one thing that needs
But
to
it's the big
change, because
corporations
lobbying is
buying the
another word
legislators.
for buying your for bribery.
It is.
Lobbying
I hate
is
it.
bribery.
I think it's bullshit.
Lobbying should be gone with.
Yeah.
You know. I don't think you'll ever completely take the money out of government just because that's how government works is by getting its money from taxes and blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
donations and everything. But like we need good leaders.
Yeah.
Our leaders are the problem.
Our leaders are the problem. We have a bunch of idiots in this, our local government, a bunch of idiots.
I wouldn't say that they're idiots, but I would say that they're self-interested
Yes, they
more
are.
than anything.
Yes.
How
I
many?
think there are some idiots though.
For sure, idiots make their way in every job.
Yes. Unfortunately, they do.
Like everybody touts how Trump is going to change things. Like he's just a businessman. I don't think that he's a very presidential businessman.
I don't think that he's presidential anything.
I don't think he's presidential material at all. I think he's a good a cutthroat businessman, and
I wouldn't
America
do business with him.
is a business. I wouldn't do business with him either.
But
I've heard-
I don't think he's a good businessman. I think
I've
he's a
watched
shitty.
I've watched too many stories on him about
Yeah.
people who have been hired by him and then
He's a
given
selfish
given
businessman.
the shaft.
Yeah, he's a selfish businessman. That's what he is. He's not good at it. I mean, he's good at being selfish.
To me, he seems like a 70-something-year-old rich kid.
Very accurate.
That's what he seems to me.
Yes.
Like
Pretty accurate.
his actions, like the way he talks to people, down to people, like he's better than them. Like he sounds like a rich kid,
Yeah.
a 70-something-year-old rich kid. And that's not what you need in government. But you also don't need somebody like Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Who
Who's
can't
barely
form
awake.
full sentences.
Yeah. We need
You know?
someone who's not
And then the people
geriatric, for one, who still has energy to make the changes.
we need somebody in their 50s.
Yeah.
Somebody a little bit younger. But unfortunately, the people who run our government, whether you believe in shadow governments or backdoor deals, whatever you might believe in, I mean, I don't think the president is the top of the food chain by any
Definitely
means.
not. He's just a puppet.
By any means. And I
He's
think
just like
even
a
if
on for show.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so there was an interview with Putin one time, not the most recent one that happened with Tucker Carlson. It was a while ago, and he was talking about why American presidents never do what they campaign on. He's like, because they always campaign, hey,
Yeah.
we're going to change this, we're going to change this, we're going to change this, blah blah blah.
Yeah. what
He's like, but
platform?
then the way Putin described it, he was like, that's the problem with the American government is then they get into office and then somebody comes in with a suitcase and sits down and be like, hey, this is how the world really works.
Yeah.
And this is how we really operate, you know?
Mhm.
And he's like, I think that's what it's like for the American presidents when they come in. That's why
Yes.
they don't do what the things they campaign
Yeah,
on,
they
because they're
can't.
like, I can't do that because of this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Things already at play.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's become this way. Like,
It's just the whole big system is all.
well, I think greed has built it this way.
Yes.
Greed has caused it
Personal
to veer
greed.
off from what it was meant to be. Because what in the 40s and 50s, one person in a household could have a 9-to-5 job, and you could pay for your house, multiple cars, your kids to go to college,
Yeah.
and still have money to save and go on vacation.
Yeah.
How many jobs do you have to have now to even save money?
Oh my
2,
gosh. Yes, at
3.
least.
Like, if you
And
want to
because you're not spending any because you're always working.
and if you want to put your kids to college, if you don't have money and didn't plan for that, then you got to work a forced job.
Yeah.
You know, like
You better hope that they're talented or smart to get a free ride somewhere.
if you
If
want,
that's what they want to do. I'm not pushing college on my kids.
I'm not.
Oh man, I'm
not-
gonna make sure that they know there are vocations available. Like be a welder, be an electrician, do something like that. I will gladly pay
no,
for
trade
vocational
schools
school.
are absolutely.
I'm always encouraging that stuff to my kids. I wish more people did.
I mean, honestly, it seems like nowadays 4-year institutions are a waste of money.
They-
I mean,
They
judging
were
by-
back then, they still are.
Yeah. Well,
They were when our parents made us go. My brother and I both he has degrees that he uses. I didn't get a degree, but I wouldn't have used whatever I got anyways.
what did you originally go to college for?
Agricultural economics with a minor in equine science.
I don't even know what that means.
It's like,
I know what agricultural science is, but
yeah, it's like stuff that I had no interest in.
Yeah. Just
I
something.
would have changed my major anyways, I'm sure, but I would not have used my college degree because I didn't know what the hell I was doing in college. I was a very late bloomer. I was very lost. What school was just not for me. If I had gone to a vocational school, I'd be a different person today. I
Well,
think.
I think vocational schools, that's one thing that's best about them is they just stick with, hey, you're learning this.
And you're going to be really proficient at this.
Mhm. It's almost like on the job training,
It is.
like an apprenticeship.
Mhm.
for the
And they'll
most
get
part.
you at that too. They have all the resources and available avenues to get you where you need to go.
Instead of ending up in $100,000 debt
Yeah.
by the time you're 22 years old. And then, like you said, not even using your
Yep.
degree. Most
I
people don't.
I left college in debt with no degree, and it served me zero purpose in life. I learned nothing at that college other than religion is a sham, which I already knew.
Yeah.
I learned that religious colleges are a sham.
A lot of religious institutions are built
Mhm.
off money.
Yeah. Well,
Unfortunately.
religions are built off money also.
Yeah.
So I don't want anything to do with that. I don't raise my kids going to
Can we
church.
talk about religion here?
Ooh, we can.
Do you,
Total atheist.
so you don't believe in any type of higher power?
I'm an agnostic. Okay.
That's the way I'm here.
Okay. I
I believe
believe that
there's something more than me.
there's something more than me for sure. Something out there. I don't know what it is, and I'm not in a judgy place where I don't feel like I should be able to judge others. I probably do it on a daily basis, but I try not to.
I find myself judging people all the time, especially waiting tables.
Yes. Well, you judge them to see how your experience is going to be.
No. I judge them before I talk to them
Okay.
all the time. Like I see a table, sit down. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I'm wrong sometimes, and I'm right sometimes. Like
Yeah.
it's the same amount.
Yeah. I do remember that about waiting too.
Yeah, but that's kind of the waiting table thing. Is kind of get into that habit.
Yeah.
But anyway, something higher than you. What do you think it is?
I mean, not God, not the God that everyone out here worships.
I don't think there's a man
I don't
in
think
a
there's a
beard and
God
a
out
white
there.
robe sitting in a golden throne behind golden gates and
Like-
things like that in
Yeah.
the clouds. Like that image of heaven is not what.
No, I don't believe that there's a single being that went zap and made our planet into existence with all our people. I do not believe that for a second.
I think that's a story that's been told over the centuries in order to control people.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
I do believe in evolution.
yeah, I mean evolution's apparent in just animals. I mean, you can look
Yes,
at
I mean you can't deny
some
evolution.
actually some people I've heard talk about being on the spectrum as a next evolutionary step because so many people who are on the spectrums they might be awkward
Mhm.
in conversational settings, but they're extremely smart in academics or
Music.
engineering,
Yeah.
music, or it's
Like genius levels.
yeah, it's almost like your brain is like, this stuff is not important. We don't need to know
Yes.
this. Let's know everything about this.
Yeah.
Some people think that's an evolutionary
Yeah.
step.
Yeah. I don't
I've
know
heard
if I would
people-
go that far,
I've heard
but
people argue.
yes. I would
Um,
need to see some more concrete evidence to support that
Yeah.
before I would believe that.
Yeah.
But
But-
I could see how it's plausible,
but at the same,
Yeah. worth looking into.
which more smarter people than I
Yes.
look into this.
I know when I think about myself
They're
and my
talking about
place in the
anything.
world, I feel very small and minuscule. Like in the big grand scheme of things.
But at the same time, you're unique. Because out of the 500 billion sperm cells that were in your dad, you came out.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel that unique, I guess. I would say.
That's an internal personal issue.
Yes, it is. I have plenty of those.
We all do. That's what the therapy's for.
Yes.
But the most recent topic of God that I was hearing about was the description that God is the universe. Like the universe is God.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? Not
Yes.
that there's a separate entity.
Yes.
Like we are part of
Yes.
the entity
The
that
whole-
is. Yeah.
Being.
Which at the same time, like I think that
I think there's other civilizations out there in space, in the universe. Like
I-
I'm convinced. I've read so much science fiction books. Oh my God, I love science fiction books. Like the ones that expand your mind.
I think it's very plausible as big as the universe is, but I also think that like so we're all energy in a way.
Mhm.
You know, we're
Yeah.
everything consists of energy. I don't think we're smart enough to understand how much so,
Mhm.
and that death is the next step in life. Um, like your soul and your energy not becomes one with the universe,
But like releases
but
into
then
it.
yes, like into a
Okay.
different plane of existence.
Okay, yes. I get what you're saying.
Almost like an evolutionary,
Yeah.
like
Like you level up.
yeah, almost, yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
And that's where I get the explanation in my head for reincarnation
Okay.
is okay, you haven't figured out what life is about, so you're not moving on. We're going to start you over
Okay.
back here. I think reincarnation's a thing too. Do you?
I think it's a plausible thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any way to prove it. I mean,
The Buddhists believe that you actually get to pick your parents in reincarnation.
see, I don't know. Everything just seems so huge. I'm like overwhelmed. Like out of all the possibilities, you pick these two people. Like that, I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
the thing that I was watching, and the way that
If it
they
were more like
described it, there's actually people who study that.
man, I'd be on board with real Matrix programs.
Like, there's people that actually study that. You know, like just figure out if we're actually in some sort of simulation of some sorts. Well, I mean, think about it. It's completely random set of circumstances that this planet is just perfectly away
Yeah.
from the sun and it has the perfect size moon to like it is kind of creepy when
Yeah.
you break it down and think about it.
Yeah.
Like, are you real right now? Are we really sitting here? Is this real?
Is it
Like,
real because something told me it's real?
exactly. Because at the end of the day, everything is really just synapses in your
Yeah.
brain telling
Just
you what
signals.
something is.
Yes. So how do we get our brain to that higher plane of thinking and existence? Like, do we all just become brain blobs? I kind of like my body and being able to use it, but I know it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
I don't think we're anywhere near the technology needed.
But see, that's where I think like the next step is like death is the next step in your
Yeah.
spiritual evolution. Because what happens to your soul when you die? Like,
Nobody knows.
what happens to Valerie? You know,
She ceases to exist here.
Well, yes, your meat suit is dead, but
Mhm.
everything about you, your energy, your spirit, your
Yeah.
aura, what happens to all that?
I don't
Does it
know.
just dissipate into the energy of the universe, or
Is it like
is there a heaven
you
that you
pour
go
a-
to, or
when you pour something into the lake or the ocean and it immediately dissolves away and like you can't tell it was in there, you
Yeah.
know, it becomes
It's still
part of
there.
parts per million.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there, but it's become so lost in everything else that it's in.
That you can't distinguish it
Yeah.
from the other.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought too. Maybe you just dissipate into.
Have
the
you seen
energy.
Dune yet?
I watched the first one.
Yeah. Have you seen the second one yet?
Not yet.
Oh, it's good.
Is it?
But like, you know, when
I watched the original.
oh yeah, I guess that's in the second. I know, I love the original too. I love the books.
Mhm.
But in the second one, there's just a part where he pours the water that came from someone's body into the well of water or whatever, the big pool of water. And it's like that was symbolic to me because they become one with all the other dead bodies that have gone to pass with all that water. But you can't ever pick them out again
Mhm.
whole.
Yeah.
Like it's just liquid.
I like
Stuck
that.
out to me.
Yeah. No, it's a good analogy.
It's like you can pick apart grains of sand. Like physically, you could pick apart grains of sand. Liquid, it's a bit harder to.
Yes.
We're getting all
Absolutely.
sciencey here.
You are. You are getting off something. So what do you think about it then? Like, I know you said you believe in something more than you. Like, what do you think it is? Do you think it's like that, where like a big,
I don't think there's any kind of puppet master anywhere in the universe that's like tugging the strings and making us do things. I think we're little humans of free will, like little ants on our world in the scheme of the universe.
what
Like
about
we're on our little anthill.
what about specific things like meeting your partner, and like, because things came together that brought y'all together.
Yes. But
You know
I'm
what I
just
mean?
thankful for it. I don't want to dissect it.
But that's not my question though. My question is, do you think something brought y'all together?
I don't know, because we have a
That's
lot
what
of
I'm curious, because there's been so many instances in my life where I am exactly where I need to be in the exact
Yes.
moment I need to be. For example, my wife, that day that she went into her coma,
Yeah.
I was at my mom's house doing laundry, and I had the thought in my head to go home, even though I had one more load of laundry to dry. And I was like, oh, I'll just come back for it. Had I have stayed and done that load of laundry, she would have been dead.
Yeah.
There's things like that that happen in my life, throughout my life, that
Make you question.
make me question it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, had I never met my wife, would I have still been on that path, or did that path be drawn out for me because I met my wife? Because
Yeah.
I was supposed to save her life. Like, I truly feel like that because of the things that happened that led up to that day, and me
Mhm.
being here to save her.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I was like, there's something.
Yeah. Well, see, and I have never had an instance that was like as heavy as that.
I'm not saying
Where-
every instance.
Yes, I
happens
know,
like
but
that,
there
there
are
are certain.
there are
times.
certain ones. I don't know, because I found out recently that my partner went to kindergarten with my sister-in-law at a private Christian college down in Norman. So he's connected to her.
That's random.
I know. And also, funny story, my partner, I don't know why I can't funny story. Casey held the same dead dog that I did when my dog got put down. So we had that big dog named Hulk. He was like a mastiff and a Great Dane
He's
mix.
beautiful.
He was so sweet. I loved him. So he got really old. I had a mobile home vet come and put him down. I didn't know it at the time, but that was Casey's girlfriend at that time. So I helped her load my dead dog into her van, like carried it on the stretcher. Thank you so much, Dr. Carey. He helped her unload that same dead dog from her van because she took it back to the shop and it was too heavy for her. So he helped her unload it because they were dating.
Yeah.
And now here I am dating him.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
it's odd.
I'm not saying those, but you had some connection before you
Yeah,
actually.
and we
met
keep
him.
finding new connections like that randomly come about. Like we have mutual friends that we've both known for like 20 years. And we figured out, like, do you know Shaddy and Michaela? It's like, yes, do you? Yes.
See, those are the things, like, I feel like y'all were meant to meet at some point.
Yeah. I feel like that too. I feel like we have met in the past at some point too. Like at Lumpy's at some I
Like,
feel
you were
like
sitting at a table next to him.
like I
kind
was
of
trying to
thing.
flirt with a doorman one time and it failed and it was him or something,
Yeah.
you know, like I was drunk off my ass and embarrassed myself, so it didn't work. Like I have a feeling I probably did that to him at one point, but
Yeah.
I'm just super happy that I am here now. That overshadows any what if questions that I ever have in my head.
Live in the moment.
Yes.
Kind of.
I think that's what changed in my lifestyle. Is not the diet, not my exercise, not my healthy
Caring about what's gonna happen.
yeah, it's my healthier thoughts.
Yeah.
I took a thought diet.
That's one of the things that you asked me how I did it when we
Mhm.
were talking about doing this. You were like, "How did you do it?" I don't remember what I said to you, but like, changing your thought process is one of the ways to do
Yeah. It
what,
takes work.
what
It
you
is
did and what I did.
yeah.
You know, like,
It's not an overnight
no,
thing either.
no, it
It's
takes
like
a long time.
ninja work you have to do in the meantime.
It's almost, hey, that's a good way to put it, ninja work.
Mhm.
Because, like, well, I mean, anytime a bad thought comes in your head, you kind of have to destroy it.
Yes.
For
Like
the
that's
most
when the
part.
ninja
Like,
work
chop that
occurs.
shit up.
Yes, you have to do that. Like you recognize and you identify things in therapy and then you implement those things in your daily life. And that's the ninja work. I got that from my favorite podcast. It's called In the Open.
Mhm.
It's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but it's a mental health podcast. And holy shit, that podcast got me through some very, very dark times because it's just two girls talking about how they would go through depressive episodes and the things that they would do to cope with it and stuff like that, and how healthy and unhealthy their choices were. And
Yeah.
they would
What
own
worked,
up
what
to it.
didn't work.
Yes, yes,
I think that's a big part of it, like you just said, owning up to it.
yes.
Like the you said you were hard. I think you said you were hardest on yourself,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like that's another thing that I did. Like I broke down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is what's wrong.
All
This
the
is
things
how
that
I
are wrong
fix
with
it.
you.
Like,
Yes.
this is where I'm thinking bad. Okay, well, when this happens, I need to think this way. And
Well, see, I couldn't even come up with that on my own. I couldn't. I needed someone to help coach me. Like, okay, when you have these thoughts, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because I was just so lost in the thoughts. They were consuming my brain.
I had that same coaching. Mine was just through it wasn't through psychiatry. It was through motivational speeches.
Yeah.
And like listening to him
Yeah.
on YouTube and listening to one guy, Simon Sinek,
Mm-hmm.
Sinek.
Mm-hmm.
He travels around and talks to big corporations about leadership
Yeah.
and whatnot. And he's very he psychoanalyzes a lot of things. And
Yeah.
I found him in that, and his talks just sparked interest in psychology, I guess,
Yeah.
in me. And so and I just would listen to him and break down when I become a leader, whatever, leader of
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I don't have to be a leader of a corporation, but you think like those leaders.
Be a leader
think
in your
like
life.
a good leader, not
Yeah.
a bad leader. Like that's was his whole thing, is how to be a good leader, not just a leader.
Yeah.
You know, and those talks helped me become a good leader in my life. You know,
Yeah.
implement some of those things in the same way.
Yeah. I guess I've never felt like much of a leader. That's just not. I don't feel like a leader.
No,
I feel
I'm not
a
saying I feel like a
alone.
leader.
I know.
I'm not saying I feel like
I wouldn't
like,
gravitate towards those because it had being a leader in the title or anything like that. That's just, I don't want to be a leader. I want to be off here by myself,
Yeah.
doing my own little thing.
they're just very positive.
Yeah.
They helped out a lot.
Good.
Well, I couldn't afford therapy.
It's really expensive.
Yeah.
But
Actually,
I cut out other things, so it was worth it.
I just recently looked into this one lady because we kind of both could use it. 'Cause,
Mhm.
I mean, I still have fears and everything, like things to overcome. Like for one example, I think success scares me more than anything. It's not failing; it's succeeding that
Yeah.
I'm afraid of. You know,
Pretty
and
profound thought.
well, I mean, I know, like it's the reason I haven't started jujitsu, or I haven't started my piano lessons yet this year. Like I set a goal, time for me to do these things this
Yeah.
year. Like my goal was, I want to start pursuing my black belt in jujitsu, and I want to start learning how to play the piano. Other things I want to do is travel around, do comedy, this, and I've been focusing more on this than I have on the other things. Part of that is because I'm afraid to start these
Yeah.
things, because I'm afraid of not starting something new, but afraid of the success that comes with those things.
Yeah. Not knowing how to handle it. I feel like you would handle success pretty well.
It's not knowing how to handle it. It's more a fear of being a fraud. That's the fear that I hold in my head
Yeah.
all the time. Is like for example, sometimes when I'm headed to work to wait tables, which I'm extremely fucking good at,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna get there and they're gonna be like, "Hey, Draws, we're gonna let you go because we've realized that you really don't know how to wait tables and you've been fooling us this whole time." Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sometimes that's a fear I have in my head. I know that it's fake because I know how to wait tables,
Yeah.
and I know I'm really good and I make money at it, blah blah blah. But I still have this fear, like, "Oh no, you're a fraud, motherfucker. You don't know what you're doing." And that's where I feel like it's the fear of success.
Yes. It's easier to dance with the devil you know than the devil you don't. So it's easier to dance and know that you might not succeed at something and you could be not great at it because that's just what you've known. Like
Yeah.
you've lived there this whole time. Well, what if you achieve something and you are really good at it?
Yeah. But see, this whole drive that I have now is because, like, the best way to put it is we've done poor. I know we can do poor. I
Mhm.
know we can survive off very little.
Yeah.
Why not try and be rich now?
Yeah.
You know, why not try a few $1,000,000 and not have to work at a job where I make somebody else rich?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but see, that's where that fear starts to play in. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, bro, you're a fraud. You don't really deserve all this. You know, that's
Yes.
the shit that I hear in my head.
Yeah. That's just those insecurities
And
getting louder.
that's where I feel like it's the fear of success. Maybe it's not a fear of success. I think it's more a fear of being a fraud. Like you
Yeah.
don't get to this point, but
Somebody will
everything you
find out.
did, somebody's gonna be like, no, you did this back here, man. That makes you a fraud.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, I'm not sure. That's where I think I need
Yeah.
to go talk to a professional about, because I'm like, because I can make up whatever in my head. I can make up whatever story I want in my head, or I can ignore it, or
Yeah. Just what you can make yourself believe, I guess.
I mean, isn't that what everything is?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are what we think, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you think that you're a terrible person, most likely you're going to be a terrible person, or you're going to have terrible things happen to you.
Yeah.
Like my life is shitty, so you find yourself in shitty situations and you go with those. Then you think my life is great and great things happen to you and you turn this way. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where I think that God is inside of us all, because
Yeah, that's interesting.
you have the power to create your world.
Yes,
I've-
but there are limitations within
I'm-
that world.
I'm not saying that I
Yeah.
have the power to decide that I'm going to fly,
Oh yeah, I mean I know that.
but you
But I mean there are also just limitations just being
but since I've been on this journey
mhm.
of bettering myself, um, things happen that better my life because I'm on this better path.
Yeah. Well,
Because
you're looking for better.
exactly, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you create it. Like a long time ago, did you ever watch The Secret?
I remember you trying to get me to watch it once.
Okay. Anyway, basically, the basis of The Secret is
I
visualization.
remember you gave me the DVD. You
Yeah.
gotta watch this now.
I liked it because the part The Secret left out is the hard work that
Yes.
comes after the visualizing.
Yes.
That's the part that shit left out.
Okay.
Okay. I wouldn't recommend just going off The Secret, but the visualization, the description of visualizing
Yeah.
things that it gives is a positive
Yeah.
thing.
Like if you build it, they will come thing for your own mind. Like
Basically.
if you build those positive thoughts,
Yeah.
they will come, everything will come.
Yeah. But a long time ago, whenever I first saw that, I had already been, I didn't have a car for many years and I would walk everywhere. And I think when we dated, I had a car. I had a car.
Hmm.
Anyway, but I had visualized somebody giving me a car because I would always walk through, because I was going to the Looney Bin
Yeah.
and there's car dealerships.
Yes.
I would always walk through these car dealerships and I would always visualize one of the car people coming over and be like, hey man, we see you walking all the time and we decided to donate this car to you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I would visualize that happening, but I wasn't living my life in a way for a situation like that to present itself
Yeah.
because I was living negatively, selfishly,
Yeah.
negatively, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then I switched things around and started living in a more positive direction. And one Christmas, my wife's aunt gave us that Isuzu rodeo that's parked out there
Oh, nice.
as a Christmas gift because her partner had passed away and
Mhm.
she had 2 cars and we very much needed a car at that time. And
Yeah.
it was given to us.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying that I visualize that happening in a way I am saying that, I guess.
Yeah.
But it didn't present itself until I started being more positive about myself. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, I get that.
That's where I sometimes I'll post things where, like on my breaks, I'll go look at this building that I want,
Hmm.
and I'll post it. Like visualizing is a tool to success,
Yes.
and it's very much a tool.
Yeah.
You know.
I get that.
Yeah. I don't remember where I was going with that, but I visualize a lot.
That's good. I don't really visualize a whole lot. I usually replay what's already happened. I do that a lot.
That's visualizing.
Is it?
It is. That's exactly what it is. You're visualizing the things that happened. I mean, you're replaying them in your mind. It's
Yeah.
almost like watching it
Yeah. I do that a lot.
because, like,
Because I'll replay mistakes. Like whenever I was not on my meds, every night I would lay there for hours and hours and just replay every mistake I made that day and the day before that and the day before that and the day before that and the day before that. Like all the way back to my childhood. I would just like go through my list of mistakes that I've made. Like that's not a way to live.
oh,
And it's not a way to go to sleep every
Yeah.
night.
did you choose to do that, or just something that
It's just
happened?
something that happened. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't stop it for so long. And the meds have helped that stop. Like
Yeah.
I don't do that at night anymore. I'm able to sleep.
That's good.
I feel better about myself.
Chemical imbalance in your brain.
Yes, it's a real thing. It's a real manageable thing.
I think that's been done to us on accident.
You know, serotonin levels that this phone changes.
No,
Every time I
not
look
not
at it.
not. I think it's been done to us long before smartphones. I think it's been done to us since the '80s, since processed foods started coming around.
Yeah, that's what we were raised on. I
You
already
know?
had my gallbladder removed because of all the processed foods my parents fed me.
Well, I don't think it was intentional. I think,
They thought they were doing what they should.
well, I think one of the things that needs to change in this country is we need to revert back to people over profit instead of profit over people.
Yes.
And I think that since the '70s and '80s and processed foods came around, the different chemicals they use in farming and the growth hormones they put in animals to make
Mhm.
them have more meat, uh, those are chemicals that we're ingesting that then become part of our body, then throw our chemicals off balance,
Mhm.
which then are in your brain.
Well, I mean, I've seen an article about women's birth control pills. Like we pee out the hormones. Well, the
Yes.
filtration sisters don't filter those out, so those are in the drinking water coming out of the
That's
water
why-
filtration systems. And little girls are getting their periods earlier and earlier and earlier because of those hormones.
Men are growing man boobs because
Yeah.
they have higher estrogen levels. Because
Uh-huh.
I don't drink tap water.
Yeah.
I pick bottled water over. I'm not saying this is much better.
Yeah, it's
because
bad
this
for the
is just
environment.
filtered tap water.
Yeah.
This is just filtered tap water in a plastic bottle, which has little plastic pieces that go inside me. They
Yeah.
probably still have the estrogen in it because,
Yeah.
like I said, it's just filtered fucking tap water.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, how does anybody know for sure?
exactly.
What's
Like they
it?
put fluoride in our water. Like they've been chemically altering us for decades, and it's caused where we're at. I mean,
Mutations.
have you ever heard people talk about going to eat pasta over in like Italy
Mm-mm.
as opposed to here? Like the pasta that we get here is
No,
nothing
it's-
like the pasta.
No,
we get
it's
over
totally different.
there. It's all natural over
Yeah,
there.
it's all fresh made and
It's not near as bad as eating the crap here because it's all processed.
like. Have you ever made noodles at home by yourself? Like lasagna noodles? Oh man,
So much better.
they're so good. They're so good. Like out of this world. Like you won't buy regular noodles again once you make them.
That's actually a trip. I'd like to go to Italy just to eat some pasta over there. But yeah, I really do think that this has been done to us. Like the reason why these drugs work for you is because you have this chemical imbalance that has slowly become what it is to cause you to think that way because of you were raised in America. And unfortunately, that's the way our society was built.
Yeah.
Let's see what bothers me and what bothers my brain is how do you change that?
Mm.
That's what the shit that I think about now.
Yeah.
Like,
That's.
how do you convince 350 million people that the way they've been living the past 30 years is wrong?
I think that's an unattainable goal in America.
I don't think it's unattainable. I think it's just a long
It's
process.
a long process, longer than our lifetimes.
Yeah,
You could
But
start
start
the
somewhere.
movement.
that's the shit.
I feel like every cult leader might say that though.
That's true. This is how cults start.
I'm not dumb enough to join a cult, but I am nosy enough.
We can call it DBS, draws ball situation.
Praise Trump.
Not really. I don't want people to praise me.
I'm not praising anybody.
In
If
fact,
they do a good job at something.
I don't even really like recognition that much.
I get so embarrassed.
I hate being told that I'm doing a good job. Like, bitch, I'm at work. This is my job. This is what I'm supposed to do.
I love being told I'm doing a good job by someone, but not at the attention of everyone. I love being told, like, hey, you're doing a great job, like in a sideline.
Yeah.
Not like,
Hey,
hey,
man.
everyone, look at Valerie. She's doing a great job.
Which that's what they do in restaurants. They walk around and tell, hey, man, you did a good job tonight. Hey, you did a good job tonight. Like, shut up. You said that to everybody. And I know he didn't do a good job because he's a shitty fucking worker.
There's so many of them. Oh my God.
Oh, the restaurant business. My wife has Rachel reminds me all the time. She's like, Harry Bear, you work in the restaurant business. These people do not have their shit together like you do.
No.
Quit trying to change them. Oh, yeah, that's right. Dude, there's this one guy I work with right now, literally does cocaine in the fucking bathroom.
No, I wouldn't doubt it.
They found foil with burnt residue on it and a straw
Oh my God.
in the freaking bathroom. I'm like, I'll give you 2 guesses who did it. You only need one. Like,
Oh man.
but that's the restaurant business. Like, if
Yeah.
you were to fire every drug user in the restaurant business,
You'd
you wouldn't
have
have
You
employees.
would have no workers.
You would have none.
I mean, I would fail a drug test because of marijuana,
That's what.
but I have a medical card that says I could use it, and
But that's what, like, back before weed was legal here, is like, if
everybody lived in fear.
not really, because everybody in the food industry knew that just about everybody who worked in the food industry most likely smoked pot.
Every restaurant would shut down.
If you were to drug test for pot in the restaurant business, you
Oh
wouldn't
my
have employees.
No.
You wouldn't have employees, except for maybe the 16-year-old hostess that's a goody
Yes.
two shoes that goes to church on Sunday.
Oh, she gets a contact high from all the people she hangs out with.
Yeah, that's right.
Just like in waiting.
Oh my God. That was the best movie. It was so accurate.
So accurate.
Except for the putting shit on food. I've never done that.
I've never done that.
Never
either.
done
I've
that.
seen someone mess with someone else's food. I do not condone that.
I've seen someone, but I've never done what they did in that movie. But everything else in that movie, as far as the partying, like it was so accurate. It was
The
so
nut shots, the brain.
I've never done that either.
Oh, I remember I walked in at Chili's one time and Loudon was doing that.
I've showed my nipples many times in the restaurant business.
I haven't, thank goodness.
That's surprising to me,
I know.
actually.
Oh, once I flashed Albert at Lumpy's.
He's a bartender though.
It's
You're
for a
probably
free
just trying to
shot.
get a free drink.
I was trying to get a free shot.
I'll show you my titties. There you go. That never worked for me. I used to try to get free drinks all the time. It didn't work.
Oh,
I'm not as cute as you girls.
just depends on what bar you go to now. I bet you can get some free drinks.
When I used to go to the neighborhood, I used to get drinks paid for. Man,
Weird.
very few times I left the neighborhood in a coherent state.
Yes, that's how they wanted it.
Yes. Oh, the partying there was so much fun.
Oh, good.
But yeah, changing 350 million people's minds.
It's quite an adventure, I would say.
I think it would take a long time.
I think it would take a very large movement.
That's why I want to talk to your brother. That's what I'm saying. He understands that world.
Yes.
Like her brother, I'm not sure exactly what he does, but he has something to do with the capital here, and it'd be a good idea too.
Yeah.
All right, Val, again.
Okay.
So we're going to end here.
Good, because I can't have another.
In just a minute. And then you'll need to go buy meat
Yes.
to smoke.
Briskets.
But before we finish, I ask you a question. I ask everybody at the end.
Okay.
What have you learned this far in life? What's something profound that you think you've learned?
To always be kinder than the situation requires.
I like that. What do you can elaborate a little bit? Like,
I mean, just like no matter what situation you're in, no matter how mean that person could be, just always be nicer than the situation requires you to be.
I like that. That's a good piece of advice. You tell your kids
From
that?
my dad.
That's from your dad?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
And today's his birthday too.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, Dad.
You'll be able to listen to this today.
Okay.
Y'all have a good day.
Bye.